never fold your arms anymore when I kiss your orange lips, and there's no tenderness in between Sabine Wren's ribs. You're trying hard to destroy it, Filoni, but man babies, they know it. You've lost that Star Wars feeling. Whoa, the Star Wars feeling. You've lost that Star Wars feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Hello, man, babies. I thought I'd come on camera for that one to surprise you all. How are you all doing? I see you all in the chat there. I can see you all, yes. So we're back. It's Wednesday, and old Ruin is with you once more to do a little bit of Ahsoka, episode 7. We're gonna have some fun roasting this one because, in all honesty, it was absolute turd. We may need to create a new scale to rate this episode. But as you always know, I can't do it on my own. I am going to need some retrobates, and boy, do we have one hell of a panel for you. So, the problem is I'm wearing this fucking Ryan Johnson mask. I can't read my script. I've got no idea what's going on, but I'm just going to ad-lib it all. So let me see. Brown tells me to say the date. It's Wednesday. It's the 27th of September. He says, say the show. It's Ahsoka, Disney Plus, blah, 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 fucking blah. It's Star Wars. What else did he say? Don't say the C word. Don't say the other words that I shouldn't say. Yeah, I've done all that bit. I guess. Oh, you find us on YouTube, find us on OnlyFans, find us on the dark web, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe, comment, tick the link, hit the box, do all those kind of things as well. Let's get the reprobates out because I'm so excited. We've got such a great panel for you tonight. So, first up, from a VPN far, far away, he is the reach around droid of choice, the android with the hemorrhoids. It is the man who made the cameo. It's Zee-ThreePIO. How you
Oh,
doing,
good
Z?
evening, Master Ruin. A pleasure to be with you once more.
Oh, it's good to have you, Z, and you did indeed make a cameo
I
tonight.
did, and I can only describe this as peak Star Wars, and by far my favorite episode of the 7 we've watched to date.
Oh, I like the audio effects you use there, Z. Very nice. Well, that was maybe the highlight. It maybe peaked very early when you made your appearance, and it went rapidly downhill from there. But look, we can't do it on our own. I'm sure we'd give it a good old stab, but we will need some retrobates backing us up, won't we, Z? Should we get the next one out, maybe?
Oh, pile them in here, sir.
Oh, let's stack them up. Okay. Next up, he is the resident Star Wars novelist. He is the man with more nicknames than Chris Jericho. He is the jester from Leicester, Swap Shop, Emperor Kipling, but the man I like to call Kippers. How you doing,
Yes.
Kippers?
Hello. Good evening, Chad. Good evening, Z. Good evening, Ruin. What a pleasure it
Hello.
is to be back with you this evening.
What a pleasure indeed. Well, a pleasure to do this. Not so much a pleasure to have to fucking watch Ahsoka before doing this, but hey, we take one for the team, don't we? And if you had to sum this one up, Kippers, in let me see, I'll give you 4 words. What would you sum it up?
I think absolutely forgettable.
Nicely. You kind of wasted 2, but the second 2 are pretty good. Okay, very good. Well, Kippers, we have got, as I say, a fantastic lineup tonight, as always, but especially good tonight. Should we get the next retrobate out?
Oh, please submit
Right.
them to this cruelty that we have had to endure for so long, Ruin.
It's so hard. I mean, my eyes struggle at the best of times, but trying to see through these piss holes in the snow. Ryan Johnson, you got such small fucking eyes. You really make it difficult for me. Okay, next up, folks. Next up, he is. Wait for everybody. He's going to be in a good mood tonight. He's the #1 ASMR artist. in the category Young Posh Twink, it is the Dark Lord Sith Chord.
It's finally all those assassinations paid off. I've made it back to number 1. Good evening.
Chordy, good evening, and I believe it's your birthday, Chordy.
It is my birthday, and I'm here. Make of that what you will.
Oh, happy
Oh,
birthday,
that's
sir.
fantastic. Well, we are so honoured to have you on your birthday. Dare I ask how many times round the sun you've been, or would that be a little bit doxy?
Several.
Several? Okay.
It's how the time is measured in Ahsoka. So it has been several years since I was born.
Several rotations. Okay, fair enough. Well, have you had a good day, Geordie?
Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
all right. It's been okay. The wine's open now, so it'll get better.
Good. Well, I was going to ask you, are you partaking in a little tipple? You're going to need it to get through this, Geordie.
Oh, yes.
Well, all the birthday wishes are flooding into the chat there, Geordie. So you enjoy those. Get yourself warmed up because we're going to need you tonight. But we still have more retro bass to squeeze in. We really have got the full lineup for you all tonight. So next up, well, we're going to get him out now. He's the man with the keys to the channel, the best secret YouTube channel on the internet, and also the best place to come and roast Ahsoka on a Wednesday night. And you know it, man, babies. He is the man I like to call the Yorkshire Ripper, Mr. Brown.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ruin, you big destroyer of Iraqi prison cells, you.
Brownie, are you wearing World War One biplane goggles there? What's going on? Are you sporting?
I just need some big tentacle legs coming out the back of my head, and I'm fully cosplay.
Yes, and some lederhosen.
Anyway, that's all you're seeing. Hello, man, babies. That's all you're seeing.
Arseless chaps, may I suggest? Brownie, could you do? Oh, he's gone already. Could you do me a good favour and lots of super chats flying in early doors? So if you could get those queued up, so we don't miss any,
Yes,
that would be very good. But before we get into this shit show, there is one more retrobait to bring out, and we've had him on before. It's been a little while, I believe, but he's back again, and he's here to give it some. It's the Critical Drinker.
Sorry, you caught me having lunch there. Yeah.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Good to be back.
How are you doing, my friend?
I am all right. I am surviving. Little Platoon, happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
It's going to make it really weird tomorrow night when we're talking about this same episode on Open Bar. This is my trial run for all the points I'm going to make later.
It's great. Just make a note of everything you say today and then just try and reword them tomorrow as though they're brilliant original thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, with such alcoholic experience as the Little Platoon and the Critical Drinker on the panel tonight, I think our drinking game's utterly fucked, isn't it?
I mean, we've definitely got some advantages here, I would say.
My tonic water's flat.
That is one of the most depressing sentences ever in the English language.
It most certainly is, along with I like broccoli.
And Ruin went critical mass.
Like, he was so disgusted by that comment, he was like, "Yeah, I'm just out. I'm out the whole stream."
Is he coming back? I hope so, because he's presenting it.
Oh, we got him.
Is he back?
I was about to say.
I'm trying to get my my avatar up and it kicked me out. How do I do it, Brown? What am I doing?
Iraqi broadband's crap, isn't it?
We did see it for a second.
There we go. I've doxed myself again. God damn it. There we go. That's more like it.
Wait. I'll see if I can fit in here. There you go.
Excellent.
Woohoo!
So, well,
Let's
what
get
an
some graphics
episode we've got tonight. We are doing episode 7, I believe, of Ahsoka. Please tell me I'm right, Brown. There's only one more of these goddamn things left. Is that right?
I hope so.
I think
tedious.
We must be almost there. This has become quite the Mount Doom of shows to get through. I feel like I'm Frodo just crawling up now. I've got nothing left.
Well, it was a particularly dodgy one tonight, but anyway, let's get straight into it. So, grey screen, pale white text. He's put a bit of shadowing on it, makes a blind bit of fucking difference. Can't read it. Font's too small. Subscribe, do your thing, etc., etc. And
blah 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 blah. There you go.
There's Ahsoka. She's actually in this episode. What a treat! She actually bothered to turn up for this one.
Shall
I mean,
we
like
do
her
this-
body was there. I don't know if her mind was. Like Rosario Dawson was just
her
throwing it in.
acting wasn't. Rune, shall we do the super chats while the slide's on?
Yeah, let's do the super chats now before we do our fabulous crawl, which I always look forward to.
Here you go, Professor R2, $5. Despite precedents, I was not prepared for this season's penultimate pile of pathetic puerile, purescent pandering.
Ooh,
It wasn't that good.
I believe that's use of the drinker will tell me, being
PPPs.
a world-class writer, a use of alliteration. Am I right there, drinker? Is
Yeah,
that
it was
the-
very pleasant to listen to. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Whalen Becephalus for $2. Listen to Filoni simps talk Ahsoka or a pistol. Yeah, some of them came after me earlier.
I'll take the
really?
pistol, thank you.
Yeah.
At least it's over quickly.
Traven158 for $5. $5 says Ezra dies in the next episode.
Well, he
I
might
don't,
as
I
well.
don't think Filoni would have the balls to kill off one of his creations.
Ran out of channel names for $20. Thank you, my friend. I realized in my drunken stupor last week, I accidentally complimented episode 7. I'd like to correct for the record that TFA was dog shite.
Oh,
Cheers.
he's referring to.
That's one before you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. He's it was dog shit. Unlike my
Yeah.
perfect Star Wars movie.
Iceman da Doctor Iceman for €10. Before you begin the shit show, could the drinker wish my big brother, the real doctor, the Mycroft of the family, a happy 32nd birthday? It's not Lord, is it?
Absolutely. Dr. Iceman's brother, I wish you a happy birthday, sir. I hope you've enjoyed these past 32 years on this planet, and I'm wishing you many more. Go away now.
Go away now. Here you go. Clavence Speaks. We've not seen Clavence for a while. $20. Thank you, Clavence. Psycho Stumpy, $10. Here, Ruin, a donation to the fund to get you out of Gitmo.
What's Gitmo?
Guantanamo Bay?
Guantanamo. Oh, you bastards. Yes. Well,
Nice
no, I mean,
sentiment,
thank you
one
very
continent.
much.
This is your favourite, Ruin? Do you want to do this? Your favourite?
Yeah, my favorite, Nicky Relihan. He's a big Last Jedi fan. He says, "Happy birthday, Platoony. I'll get you a bottle of your favorite drink and a blowjob when we meet as a present. Being sober is up to you. Kiss hugs, kiss hugs, kiss hugs." There you go, Platoon. There's a promise for you.
But that'll be just really awkward the next time one of my friends or family says, "Oh, what did you get for your birthday?" So, well,
A very loud mic.
really? Oh.
Coming in hot.
Shrimp killer.
Well, it's his birthday. He's allowed to be a bit loud. Okay.
Cheers, everybody.
So what a fabulous contribution. Oh, just quick one, Brownie, because my old mate Girth Knight has slid one in here. Ruin, would you please consider including Enoch? I like to call them Eunuch. Goldface man in your trilogy. I trust only yourself with this character. Well, thank you, Girth. I mean, you see how I handled all the other fabulous characters. I would do a great job with Captain Eunuch. He is rapidly becoming one of my favorites. Thanks for that one, Girth. The super chats keep coming,
We
but
might start eventually.
we'll put them on ice for now. Yes, you're right, Bram. We'll put them
Yeah.
on ice. We'll get to you in a moment, because it's that
Cheers,
time
everybody.
where we do our fabulous recap via the way of this red crawl, and as always, we pass over to. I mean, I'm tempted. It's always Z, but I'm tempted to go to the birthday boy, Brown. But you're the ultimate. You have ultimate say. Who do you want here?
There's only one person for the job, isn't there?
Well,
Z.
I'm sorry, I tried for you, Platoon.
Oh, no. Z is definitely the right person to do
Z,
this.
okay,
Just
Z.
headphones slightly away from your ear when he starts. and
Headphones
then
off, everybody.
Yeah, just
turn down volume just
volume
a little
down.
bit,
Yeah,
boys
get
and
your
girls.
get your limiters on. Z, okay, give it both barrels, my friend. Over to you.
Friend Zone, harbinger of galactic doom, Sabine Wren is finally reunited with her long-lost work colleague and full-time space Moses Ezra Bridger after searching for him on the alien world of Peridia for literally minutes. Meanwhile, limited edition Funko Pop Ahsoka Tano the White speeds to her location inside the mouth of a hyperspace whale accompanied by Doctor Who. I'm not even making this up. We rejoin the saga on Coruscant, where General Hera Syndulla faces the consequences of her own actions in another member-berry-packed installment of Star Wars Rebels.
Excellent, Z. Thank you very much. Lucasfilm logo, but before we get into it all, I must go to the drinker because obviously most of us retrobates here have been covering this week by week in some real detail. But drinker, just your overall thoughts of Ahsoka so far, right up to this episode. What have you made of it?
Sure. Well, I can sum it up quite easily for you. Shite. Yeah, it's been a pretty dull show for the most part. Chronically dull, chronically slow paced, chronically stupid as well for the most part. It's funny to see a show that thinks it's incredibly smart and meaningful and thoughtful, but it's actually dealing with the dumbest plot lines imaginable. It truly is proof that characters can only ever be as smart as their writers. And, well, that I think Grand Admiral Thrawn is a perfect example of that.
Indeed.
He is great, though. There are so many lines in this that you can tell this is a dumb person writing their idea of a smart character. And there's a certain type of lines that always come out when a writer is doing that. And this entire episode is effectively just him saying, well, I managed to send them over there where I am not. I am clever.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. That was a good 40-minute use of my time.
Because imagine for a moment that you've got your enemies dead to rights. You've got a squadron of space fighters chasing them, and they've got them in their sights. And so instead of saying finish them off, you say let's pull back, and we're going to use some crazy witch things to pinpoint their location, which we already knew because we had them in our sights earlier. But then we pinpoint the location, we fire at them ineffectively to drive them out. We don't have any fighters standing by to intercept them, but we then call them in later. And that's treated as a win. Like, okay, you just wasted a lot of time and resources, but sure, yeah, fine. Yeah, that's basically Thrawn. It's stupidity masquerading as intelligence.
And why do you think? Because obviously anyone with half a fucking brain can see all this, but why do you think some of the Disney shills are so excited about this series? Some of them calling it the best thing Disney's done. I mean, what do you make of that, drinker?
I think because one, it brings in all these characters that they liked from Rebels and Clone Wars. It's got just enough of a veneer of adventure and seemingly like well implemented production and so on. Like, it looks better than something like Boba Fett did. It gives it that sense of being a grand adventure, but it isn't. So it's essentially enough to fool people on a surface level. I think that's what gets people going. And because it's not working within the constraints of a character like Obi-Wan Kenobi or Boba Fett or Luke Skywalker or anything like that, there's less to ruin. But they still manage to ruin plenty of stuff. It's just less obvious. So I think people are just enjoying it on that really superficial level. It's marginally less shit than some of the other shows they've made.
I think you're right. Well, Iceman's reminded us, and thank you, Iceman. What's the rules for the drinking game? So, Drinker, you're going to like this. Every week, we establish some rules for the drinking game because really it's the only way we can get through this damn show and this damn stream and all the man babies in the chat like to join us. So I'll go around the panel, come to you last, Drinker, so you get the gist of what we're doing here. So first of all, Brownie, why don't we start with you? What would you like to put forward as your trigger for the drinking game?
Tasty blonde apprentice.
Oh, okay. Bit of
What,
shit.
just every time she appears?
That's
Yes.
it. Yep. Okay.
I'm not sure how tasty she is. Like the haircut gives me the sense that like she's just like had a lobotomy or something performed. And I think the slightly like the lack of vocabulary and the slightly vacant stare that she has at all times.
Just how I like them.
It's like, yeah, we're attracted to the afflicted here. I don't think we should be.
Brownie thinks he can fix her, Drinker. So
yeah, well, maybe
leave it
we're
with
into
me,
that
fellas.
kind of thing.
I can
Who
do
knows?
it. I can do it.
I did see someone online refer to her as a chaos goblin, which I quite like as a name.
Oh, nice.
People called her like, was it Balin's poodle? And yeah, I can get that.
Go on then, Chordy. What's your submission for the drinking?
Oh no,
game?
I've not thought of one. Come to me in a minute. I'm struggling with this episode.
Oh, okay.
We all
Let's
are,
go
mate.
to Z. Z, what are you putting forward?
Oh, every time that there's a member berry or callback to something that's happened before.
Oh,
God.
Okay, well, we could be drinking heavily tonight, folks. Kippers, what's your submission?
Well, that's a good one.
Was he
when you're
taking
ready,
a run up
Kippers.
to this one? What's he doing? Have you lost him?
My microphone seems to have come unplugged and plugged back in again miraculously. How about that? I was going to say, as I was talking when you couldn't hear me, I would say it's going to be when they have a hilariously bad fight sequence and an enemy deliberately swings high or wide of their opponent.
Yes, plenty of that going on. Chordy, is that enough time for you to...
I'm struggling. There's maybe two, and they're both really boring. One is just every time a character really should be dead and isn't, because that happens roughly 2 or 3 times per episode.
Nobody's
Or
ever gone.
every time you sit there and you just realize I could be doing anything else, and yet
God,
here I am.
That's like a whole bottle of whiskey in the first 5
That's
minutes.
me all day, that.
You might as well get an intravenous drip into your veins and yeah, just keep it going. Drinker, would you like to add one to the list?
There's two I could suggest. One would be take a drink every time Sabine looks smug about something. Yeah, that's liver failure right there. Or take a drink every time Thrawn passes up a really obvious opportunity to kill all of his enemies and win everything.
Yes, excellent. Very good. Well, I'll just go with the bog standard arse shot. So every time there's an arse shot, he does like an arse shot Filoni. I think he's got a bit of a fetish going on there. Anyway, we're off. Here we go, folks. Get the drinks
I
at the
didn't
ready.
notice very many arse shots in this episode. Maybe that's why it was slightly more boring than the others.
No, it's because she's not walking anywhere. If she'd been walking someplace, it would definitely be on her arse.
Well, we did have that lightsaber training sequence.
Oh, yeah.
We do get some nice bomb shots on that.
Okay.
I watched that
Hard
part
to tell
many
there
times.
because it's just like she's under so many layers of things. It's just there's not enough flesh on display.
You can't have anything revealing in Disney Wars. That's not allowed.
Yeah,
I think the director for this one is a lady, I think, so that might have been a factor in yeah, we're not perving on female characters.
Well, I think that settles it, Platoon. You cannot let women direct anything ever.
Dare you?
They can't be trusted.
Their gender. Moving on.
True.
Getting a bit of a roasting by the man babies in the chat for my pronunciation of arse. Can we just go around the panel and just do a quick arse check? Brown, can you give us a Yorkshire arse?
Arse.
No, a Yorkshire arse, not a pirate arse.
Arse.
Thank you. Geordie, give us a posh arse.
Arse.
Z, can you give us an android arse?
Arse.
Swappers, Kippers, can you give it an Emperor Kipling arse?
No, I'll give you a drunken Jack from Father Ted arse, shall I think.
Arse! And Drinker, can you give us a nice big Scottish arse?
Arse!
There we go. How about that? It's more arses than you can shake Filoni's dick at. Anyway, we got to get into this shit. I've been putting it off for far too long. We have
25 minutes. Well done.
a very bizarre opening scene. Very felt rather cheap set, to be honest, and some cheap costuming, and it's far too fucking bright, which exposes everything. But we have some kind of courtroom scene. And we have this chick, unfortunately, not with her arse to camera, facing camera. Geordie, do you want to kind of get us going here? What's going on in this courtroom?
Yeah, so this is, from what I recall, this is the Senate Oversight Committee. There's only one. It just oversees everything, including the military. And they have hauled her in because they've noticed that despite being a military general, she has been going around the galaxy on her own, doing her own shit, and generally causing trouble. And so the Oversight Committee has called her in to threaten, at least, to strip her of her rank. But they're about to find out that Leia said it was fine, so it's all good.
The thing I don't understand about all this, right? Perhaps someone here can help me. So the whole issue is that she doesn't have any like hard concrete evidence of all these things that she's claiming, like the Eye of Sauron thing that has been constructed, the Dark Jedi, all the shenanigans that went on that planet, the space whales, everything, right? She can't prove any of it. That's why they brought her here to answer for her disobedience, right? Wasn't there literally an entire plot point about how they had to get like really close to this giant space butthole thing so that they could scan it?
Yes.
So isn't that like they obtained detailed schematic information of this thing? Plus they had a fucking dash cam, presumably, that just shows images of it. Like, isn't that all the evidence you need that this is real and it exists and it's a legitimate threat?
You'd think so, as well as the fact that, major New Republic the shipbuilding facility on Corellia, and apparently there's no cameras, there's no witnesses, none of the droids, even though the droids are the ones who have ended up like revealing the conspiracy there, they haven't remembered it. I guess they just forgot to transfer the scan from one ship to the other, and so she hasn't got it to hand.
I mean, it could be
inconvenient, but
it always brings to mind the Rise of Skywalker, where they have to transfer information from like the one ship to another, and it's like literally a giant sludge pipe that they have to connect up to transfer this data.
USB
like Wi-Fi doesn't exist, I guess, in this universe.
Well,
so dumb.
Well, we've got this character on screen, and we were chatting in the green room just before we went live, and I think our old friend Brian summed this up perfectly. He said, white adjacent male gets bitch slapped, and that's basically what happens in this scene, isn't it? He gets...
Pretty much.
Is this guy
It's funny, I am actually genuinely surprised that they had any ethnic minority be portrayed in a negative light here, but it's like, if you had to pick one that's as close as possible, it's going to be a man, and it's probably going to be an Asian man.
I remember Admiral Akbar. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
that's
Akbar.
Is this guy Imperial?
No, it's kind of it's unclear. So like there was the barbs that were thrown in episode, was it 2, I think, when she first appears before these people and points out that he's just a senator and he was never involved in the front line. Even though the Empire dissolved the Senate, and that was a sort of a point in episode 4. So what he's been doing the entire time is slightly unclear. I don't know whether he's part of the grander conspiracy. It's not impossible that he is, but whether or not we get that answered in the show, I think, is quite clearly answerable, which is no, we're never going to find that out. He's just going to be vague, occasionally off-putting, possible bad guy, and we never see him again.
I honestly don't know which option's worse. I mean, I think if he was unmasked as an Imperial agent, it's like it would at least explain why he's being so obstinate and he's like clearly ignoring like pretty self-evident facts,
Yeah, very much so. I mean, slime bag or not, the chain of command should still be followed.
Well, I think it's like, well, what's your choices here? He's either a traitor or he's like so wildly incompetent that he literally does the opposite of common sense in every situation.
Except
because, like,
in this one,
if
I
a high-ranking
general,
general, sorry, what was that?
Well, except in this situation, because technically he's right. He points out that you're a general in the New Republic Navy or Army or whatever. You can't just be going off on your own without orders on private missions. That's not really how militaries work.
Well, no, I totally agree. But like at the same time, if a high-ranking military general came to me as a representative of the government and said, "Look, we've got really strong reason to believe that there's a conspiracy underway to bring back Grand Admiral Thrawn. We've got, this crazy like space wormhole creating thing that we've witnessed. People that I personally trust can vouch for this one. This is a real threat. I mean, unless I was an actual agent working against her, I would probably at least take her on her word, or I'd at least follow it up. You know, it seems like she should be somewhat trustworthy if she's risen to this rank within the military.
She's one of
it's
the
not some
heroes of
grunt
the
who's like, well,
so...
they could have any motivation. It's like, well, this is a person who, you know, has served for many years in this role. Like, they are.
She only got there because she's Ewan McGregor's missus.
Oh,
moving on.
Brownie, you need to suspend your disbelief, man. What's wrong with you?
Can you just go back a slide? I just want to look at Akbar's face. He looks like he's just had a line of Leia's special space dust, doesn't he?
Talking of member berries, did I see a 9 num species type character earlier? I'm sure there was.
There was. He was for some reason. Apparently, they are bald all the time. They wear those like leather hats, but it looks like he's just had his head shaved. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if we'll catch another glimpse of him. Girth, I did see your super chat. You've got a question for Drinker. We will get to that. Don't worry, my friend. But you're right. I would never settle for these plot holes. I'd settle for much larger plot holes. So here's a nice line. Can I get Z to read this out? Because basically you could slap this on the poster for Ahsoka and it basically sums up the entire fucking series. Take it away, Z.
Star maps, star whales, distant galaxies.
There you go.
It's so stupid. These are all things that they know exist. Okay, we have maps of the stars, so we know that's a real thing. We know the star whales are a documented species that people are aware of, so they're a thing. And we know that other galaxies exist because we can see them.
Why has it only been 30 years since the Clone Wars? Why are they thinking Jedi are a myth?
Yeah.
It was only 30 years ago.
I just love for Eggs Beatty's comment is great. I just love for just one episode where one person pops one of those strepsils out of the blister pack and just puts it in their mouth. Just once. I'd love that.
Oh, is that on right? Yeah, on a jacket.
Is it just me, or does this set remind you of some kind of fucking 70s game show, TV game show? Like, give us a clue or something, you know?
I'm honestly trying to pick out which bits of it even exist, because the background definitely doesn't, like that wall and everything behind them. That is 100% CGI.
I think, desks probably.
The desk probably, yeah. That's about all you get, and it looks so shit.
And there's the bald 9 num on the left there. Good to see him. Almost an all shot, so take a sniff of your drink if you would, man, baby.
just look at it, yes.
Look at it.
And basically they're just going backward and forward here. Oh, and we had the old what do they call them? The rebel policeman. I don't know what you describe him as. This Mr. Miyagi type character. I mean, not being derivative there, but that's how we've known him. He's just blurred in the background there, isn't he?
Captain Teva.
Yeah.
You know what I like here as well? She's taking off her space goggles.
Oh,
yeah. Like she's still got the stupid leather helmet on. And I'm just thinking how weird she would look if she wasn't wearing that.
Question for Drinker. Can this, what's her name? Mary Elizabeth
Winstead.
Can she act?
Yes. She is an actress and she can do acting. But you would never know it from this show. Kind of like Rosario Dawson.
I'd blame the director. I think if she took off her lederhosen, she'd be very, very pale green under there.
I do like the 70s corduroy look.
Well, you still rock it, don't you, Brown? That's why.
I want to know what those red things are.
Well, we've been debating this drinker for weeks. We think it's strepsils. She's got a sore throat from sucking Filoni off, so she has to pop a strepsil every now and then.
I like how she's not wearing the goggles though, because it's formal dress, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, that'd be ridiculous to wear goggles into a courtroom. I'm just going to slip this super chat in. No, we've got a few others queued up, but Wolf Spain for $5. Chordy, can I ask you to do the honors, please? Because you've got such a wonderful singing voice, and this does involve some lyrical work.
It does, but I don't know the song, so I can't.
Oh, God. Oh, come on, Chordy.
Like green butts in it. Yeah, that one.
I'm not doing that. No, I have class.
They'll have class. Go on, Lee.
Well, just read it anyway then, Geordie. It's your birthday, man. You can do what you want.
Wolfsbane for $5. Every time I hear it in this series, I imagine Dave Filoni singing "Baby Got Back." I like green butts, and I cannot lie. Dave Filoni, probably.
Thanks, Wolfsbane. Okay, so these two are still going at it. That line has really hit Akbar there, hasn't it? He's really starting to feel that.
That's brilliant. Oh, I need that as a profile picture. That's so good.
Yeah, there's our old mate. Why is he rocked up? Why is there a droid in court? Anyone care to offer me a
Maybe it's a
explanation?
stenographer or something. Oh, it's Chopper, isn't it? Yeah, no. So it's not a stenographer.
Remember Chopper?
He's just there. It's a memberberry drink.
Memberberry,
Also,
take a
you
drink.
know, if I was thinking as well about a sensational term, I would have called it like the Imperial Resurgence or something. Not the Remnant. That makes it sound really small and pathetic. That's not sensational.
Much like the show.
Yeah.
I think the droid's there because Filoni needs some lines in this scene, I think.
Wah, 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 wah.
Not the kind of lines that Akbar's taking either.
Nice wide shot there, just to show you there is more than just a bit of a shitty CGI background.
Is that a drink situation there?
What, for an arse? For a memberberry? For take your pick?
Well, it's a distant arse, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. Take a sip, I suppose.
Yeah. Take a just put your tongue into the glass and twiddle it round a little bit.
I'm just drinking my flat tonic water now.
Stop it. Stop it. You're really depressing me. That's such a miserable statement.
Not on his birthday, Brown. Not on his birthday. Come on.
Brownie. Even the goddamn illegal immigrants get 3-star hotels, don't they? And poor Brownie's rattling around the back of his cupboard for a bit of flat tonic water. Anyway, Brown, you got 370 man babies watching us tonight. So that's going to cheer you up, isn't it?
Hello, everybody.
Nice.
So this courtroom scene rumbles on, and at this point, I did check. I had to. Disney Plus is a terrible fucking app or whatever you call it for watching platform for watching. You can't see where you are in the episode, and I thought, have I come in halfway or something? This feels like such a strange start.
You've got to pause it and then press up on your remote control, and that'll tell you how far through the episode you are.
It does do one useful thing though, and that the useful thing is actually on screen at the moment, because all the questions about when this show is set, because it never managed to make that clear until this very point. In one line of dialogue here from Mr. Tiva, we now know that this is after Mando season 3, I think, because the conflict on Mandalore has already happened.
Yeah. Well
so now at least we know when we are. It's taken until the penultimate episode of the whole show to figure that out, but hey, I'm sure that's going to cause some problems though, because there's I can't remember exactly what they are. I'm going to have to go back into a script or something, but there's a lot of problems depending on whether or not you are before Mando 3 or after Mando 3. Both scenarios don't actually add up together, so it's still going to create issues. But it's nice to know when in history we're placed.
And where did they get the impression that he was acting on his own? There's absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. The size and scale of the operation that was destroyed at the end of Mandalorian season 3, well, that should really be lighting up like a Christmas tree.
Well, obviously, Z, they don't believe in, actually referencing what's happened previously. They just make this shit up as they go along, as we always know. But this guy he's really giving sinister vibes, isn't he? This
Imperial.
Yeah. Bad guy vibes.
There's like a couple of ways it could go. I mean, he could be Imperial himself, but so Mando season 3, for example, sets up one of the few things it does set up in episode 3 when it's actually going back to Coruscant is showing how for a certain class of person there isn't a huge amount of difference between the New Republic and the Old Empire. They weren't particularly political. They were mostly concerned with just making cash, being in sort of cultural and political power without really giving a shit about the ideology of the thing. But it does make it hard to tell with this guy, as sort of going back to what we were talking about earlier, so whether he's consciously evil and acting on the part of the Imperial Remnant, or whether he is just one of those types who is just happy under any dictatorial regime and is not, taking any of these threats seriously because he doesn't really feel the threat himself. Because the Disney Plus shows have shown us both types of person, and he kind of sits somewhere in between the two of them. It would be nice to get an answer to that at some point, but.
So we we carry on with this backwards and forwards, and this is where, as Brian put it earlier, really she puts him in his place. So we get a bit of a smirk, don't we, from Mon Mothma, or Mon Mothma, as Brownie likes to call her. Yeah. Brownie, what do you make of this guy? I thought it had a little bit Star Trekky vibes. You know what I mean? It was just a bit, I say that with a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth.
There was a Star Trek Court episode on Strange New Worlds, which was abysmal. So agreed. And
worse than this?
One, by the way. One.
Well, you've jumped the gun, Brownie. You've jumped the goddamn gun. Drinker, if I may, if you were to give this fine lady a rating, what would you give her between 1 and 10?
What, Mon Mothma?
Yes, Mon Mothma.
Yes, Mon Mothma.
What, like in terms of attractiveness, or like?
Yeah.
How sexy do you find space politicians? Is basically.
I mean, she's like a solid. Yeah, she's a solid 2. Like
a 2. You give her a 2.
Virgin on 3 if she was.
Everybody in the chat would give her 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give her like an extra point on the basis that she's got a posh accent, and that's nice. So yeah, everyone likes a posh bird.
We have consensus in the chat. It's a 1 all round for Mon Mothma.
Looks like she's taking one right now.
She's a fine-looking mature.
I would put, like, if I was to define a 1, it would be like Kathy Griffin or something. Like this she's a step above that.
What?
The chat is just obviously we've got all our regulars, and then there's Alex who comes in with 8.5 actor.
Any port in a storm, truly.
Oh, brilliant. Z, if you would please honor us with this line read that's made for you.
Oh, how rude!
It's like you're in the room with me, Z. And here we go, and it's really it's the highlights of the, dare I say, the episode and the whole goddamn show for me, Z, because you make an appearance. Did they try in a ham-fisted way to try and hide that it's you? I mean, it's clearly obvious it's you.
It's quite obviously me, yes.
Are you getting manhandled there, Z? What's going on?
No, I'm getting member buried from A New Hope. With the whole show me your papers. You don't need to see my identification. But this is my favorite part. I was tasked with relaying transcripts directly from Senator Leia Organa, as she was sadly preoccupied overseeing the delivery of some top-grade snorting powder from the spice mines of Castle.
If I may, look what's in the background.
Oh, it's like a frog-fucked parrot.
Frog-fucked a parrot.
Oh,
parrot frog guy.
That almost looks like Alf in the background. That's weird.
What's the other fucking thing with the pink? Is that Holdo? What's going on there? The pink purple
flowers.
It looks like an actual mushroom. Yeah.
Super Mario mushrooms.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere on the left off screen is Man Bear Pig as well. I'm sure he's on the Senate.
Can Hera not turn her head? Has she got a problem with turning her head? Is that something going on with her prosthetics? Is that she only can look like she has to side eye everybody?
Well,
no, that'd be called acting.
Can you just go back? Can you go back one slide? Oh no, maybe it was forward.
It looks like
there you go. There you go. Oh no, I thought it was I am a as opposed to I am. But even so, you can you can see where I'm going with that one.
I could, yes. I know exactly what you're thinking. Great shot of Bald Nine Num there. He's looking fine, isn't he? He's got the wraparound moustache going on.
Is that Eddie Murphy on the right?
Oh, Brown, what are you trying to do? No, he looks resplendent in his gowns there, but
he looks so fucking bored. He's like, we've been shooting this scene all day. I'm really done now.
He could do a line of whatever Akbar's on, couldn't he? Really, just lining things up. Nine Num, can he only grow facial hair on that kind of gill around his face? Is that?
I had no idea they could even grow hair at all, but that's just weird.
Wouldn't it be fantastic if he shaved it all off, apart from just a little strip under his nose? Wouldn't that look fabulous?
was thinking if he didn't shave at all, it'd be just like a huge curtain, wouldn't it, around the bottom half of his head?
The ship could fly in then. Moving
on. Nice shot of Mon Mothma, Brownie's girlfriend.
One.
And then we officially know, because the subtitles tell us, it's 3PO. So Z, it's not Anthony Daniels in the gear anymore, is it? Because he's about 83 years old. But he is doing the voiceover, is that right?
I believe he is, yes.
Do we know who's in the suit these days? Has someone got a regular gig?
Kenny Baker.
Are you asking Z who's inside him today?
You know,
was that really his neck, or was that part of the costume?
It is Uncle Owen, yes.
Looking good though, Z. It was fun to see you here. Would you want to? I do feel we should get you doing the line read, Z. I mean, hey, you know, what a chance.
I am here on behalf of Senator Leia Organa. The Honourable Senator Organa has become aware of an unfortunate situation and wishes to present this data transcript of all the senators in this room running a train on me at the last Life Day party, which she hopes may resolve the matter.
Oh, sorry, Z. Is this someone else?
Pass.
We don't know. I'd switch. I was playing with my phone.
I don't know about you
point.
guys, but should we be really, really excited to see 3PO?
Is anyone ever excited to see 3PO? I mean,
I am
really
always
that kind of
excited to see 3PO.
I mean, in the past, I would just be like, Anthony Daniels needed to make a few quid, I suppose. So gets him out of the house for a while.
I liked seeing him and R2 in Rogue One for that brief couple of seconds, but we've had so many droids that look like this for this season already. It's kind of like, another one, you know.
Yeah.
Was anyone else expecting something with that little data chip thing, like maybe a hologram pops up, or just something a bit visual or obvious? And it just seemed to nothing happen, didn't it?
Yeah,
sort of, yeah. I mean, it's the unfortunate point, obviously, is that she's dead, and so the natural thing that you would expect to happen, which is, you know, holograms. They have those in Star Wars, or a message that can be relayed via R2 or something. But because she's not around anymore, they can't do that. So it's just, is a random data pad, which confirms that Leia apparently sanctioned this mission, although we find out after the fact that she didn't, but nevertheless, she sanctioned it, so it's all fine, which is still kind of weird because I think they said that is she chair of the Defense Council in this, or she's on the Defense Council, but this is the Oversight Committee. So
she should
which of these two is... Then? Yeah, but also, what is the Oversight Committee overseeing if it takes orders from the Defense Council? It's politics. Who gives a fuck? But that kind of thing annoys me.
It sort of explains, again, like everything we've covered when we've talked about shows like this, it kind of explains why the New Republic fell so easily, because it's so monumentally shit and incompetent and like inefficient in everything it does, where you've got these multiple committees where everyone's got authority over everything else and nobody really knows who's in charge of anything.
Let's not forget dismantling fully serviceable Star Destroyers to smaller
that
ships.
makes no sense.
That annoys me significantly. But I don't mind sort of the idea of portraying it as this, bloated by bureaucracy, undermined from within. I think there are some good ideas to the way that the Republic is characterized throughout Disney Star Wars. It's just that it's never done properly. And it goes from being, we are paralyzed by size and inefficiency, to, no, we are just fucking incompetent. So the number of times, I think it's twice in one episode, where the characters use almost the exact same line. We have former Imperials working at every level of the New Republic government. And the natural response to that is, wait, what? Their response is, well, that's just fine. And no one thinks that that's worth questioning. And that they have the rehab program for a bit in Mando Season 3. And yet in this show, it doesn't exist anymore. They just work openly without rehab. So they haven't built it properly, but I don't necessarily mind the idea.
I mean, it worked better with the prequels, because this was a government that had been in power for, decades, if not centuries. And so you can understand how a system like that would gradually become less efficient over time and complacent and bloated and stuff. And that's how Palpatine was able to gradually, take power without people really noticing what he was doing. But with this, it's like, well, this is a fresh start. This is supposed to be the new Republic that's risen from the ashes of the old one, that's replacing the Empire. You would think, well, they would have learned something from the mistakes of the past. But again, nobody has a memory that extends beyond like 4 or 5 years in this universe now. And so I guess maybe they don't learn. Like, I think an easier explanation for this would have been everything's a bit shaky at the moment because we're trying to reestablish control over all these systems that used to be under Imperial control. You know, we're in the aftermath of a devastating war, which has caused huge amounts of damage. And so we're stretched thin. That would be an easier explanation, but that's not really brought across in shows like this.
Wow.
But they run away from it, which is the kind of annoying thing. So again, it's always goes back to Mando season 3, but that's maybe because I'm doing a video on it at the moment. But there's the bit in that where it's the Lizzo Planet episode. Well, Lizzo Planet is a repetition, but it's the Lizzo Planet episode where the villain is this former separatist who's actually ideologically still committed to it. And he almost has a moment to have an interesting point of view put across. And he starts speaking, and then Botox Karen shoots him and says, politics. I think, well, but you were doing well there. Why are you scared of this? You kind of have to address the politics given the time period you're setting this in. But because everyone complained about the prequels doing too much politics, then they're not going to do it.
Yeah. That goes all the way back to season 1 of Mando, where you had what's that director guy called that was in it for like a couple of episodes?
Werner Herzog.
Werner Herzog, where he makes the point of like, well, under the Imperial order, we had security, we had trade, we had efficiently run systems of government. Everyone had a purpose. Isn't that better to the chaos that we have now? And you can certainly say, well, yeah, but it was under a tyrannical dictatorship, so no, it wasn't better. But like, there's an argument to be made. There's an interesting thing to explore of, was it actually better for the average citizen to be under the Empire rather than this chaotic republic that's totally inefficient? It's something you can play with, but like the script never really does anything with it because that would be too difficult for them to tackle as writers. And yeah, it's the same deal here.
At least the trains ran on time.
Pretty much, yeah. The sentiment that they were going for, I suppose.
Take 2 drinks, man, babies. We've got a couple of side-on arse shots, and one of them's our own Zee-ThreePIO with the pert little arse there. I'll just take this moment as well.
Does 2 side-on arse shots equal 1 arse?
Oh,
you've got
yes, you're
1
right,
cheek for each, haven't you? So
1 cheek each.
You can tell the Asian guy there is quite jealous of the arses on display here because he's like, yeah, I can't equal this kind of arse game. Like, I'm 55 years old and I'm overweight. I'm not going to do it.
Hugh Edwards dropping the keks, did it? But anyway, while we're here, I just want to slot in a little super chat. Kippers, would you do us the honor, please?
Asian dudes, the next best thing to a white guy. From Princess Fiona for $2.
Indeed. And we'll get a couple more in. Z, could you do this one, please?
Clarence Beeks for $5.
Oh, this is me.
Mr. Brown, Morgan Elspeth, yes or no?
No.
Oh, come on, Brownie. Beggars can't be choosers, man.
It's Bruce Lee's goddaughter.
God, the Asian hate on the stream is real.
See, I would go for her on the basis that she reminds me of Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers. And that's a good thing.
But in this episode, she seems to have been reduced down to just questioning what Thrawn's doing.
And looking smug.
Prompting him for exposition to keep the plot moving along.
She does also have an incredibly convenient database thing she just pulls out of her arse, I assume, which just fills in lots of plot-relevant information for Thrawn. But I don't know where she got that from. We'll get there in about 3 hours' time at this rate.
I don't know if we're going to get him more
this bit quickly.
I don't know if we're going to see him again during this, or see him at the close-up angle. But it's really weird. I had to keep zooming into or keep squinting at the screen to try and figure out whether the actor's neck could be seen through the C-3PO costume or not. It looks like it's separating. You can see his skin underneath it, but it's weird. It's really weird.
No, I get you there. I was actually looking at the neck bit, and I thought it did look strange. It looked like a cheap costume almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looked like it was cream coloured as opposed to gold.
Yeah, it did.
Bear with me, Brown.
We'll do
I'm gonna have to try. There we go.
Yeah.
Do a quick sip.
Yeah, you can see there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see? Is that the actor's neck? Oh, God.
That's really hard to tell.
Terrible. It's like when you see someone at a convention, they've got a really good costume, but there's just one little bit where it's no, you've not quite nailed it there. This is fucking Star Wars for you. Go on, Brownie, do your super chats.
Wayland Becephalus for $2. Drinker, do you want to answer this question? Bucket of
No, I
eggs.
always get this question. He's going to pose the same fucking question to me on open bar tomorrow night. So one of you guys can answer this one.
Ruin, you answer it then, yeah.
Bucket of AIDS or Ahsoka. Well, as someone who's had a bit of both, I would say AIDS is less insufferable.
It's manageable.
It's a whole bucket we're talking about here, so that's a lot of AIDS.
Yeah.
You can cure AIDS now, can't you? Whereas you can't really cure Ahsoka. It's happened.
Well, the other way looking is that AIDS will kill you, whereas Ahsoka's just a constant pain and torture.
No, I've done the slide, so I'm dead inside.
Well, AIDS might kill your body, but Ahsoka will kill your soul.
Oh, there we go.
It's killed mine.
The chat already debating that one. Brownie, if you could keep an eye on those super chats. We may have missed one or two. Yeah.
Mon Motham's face in that previous slide just showed. It's just how I'd imagine her if Brown walked in the room naked.
Oh,
what?
You know, can you skip to the next slide for a second?
Yeah, please do.
This always just leapt out at me as like such a dumb
oh god
misuse of the phrase. It's like because they wanted to end on a really dramatic note, and so they have her say like we have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Yeah, it's like you should have done it the other way around, you dumbasses. Like it's so simple, but you even got that wrong.
If I was Mon Mothma as well, my response would be, okay, and now can you actually answer my question, please? Because she specifically says like how real is the prospect of him coming back, and Hera just says, well, you know, it could be bad or it could be good.
Oh, this entire episode is full of these stupid, vague answers, isn't it?
It would have been a lot better if she just replied, well, Sabine's involved, and then Mothma just went, oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Well, we're screwed then.
May I do a super chat, Roo?
Yeah, before you do, Dustin Echoes makes a great point there, Dustin. That's all right. He just says that's basically the show's motto, and you're all right, Dustin.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Go on, Brownie, take it away.
Garth Knights for $5. This one's for you, Will. Drinker, are you willing to have Ruin direct one of your Ryan Drake adventures? He's controversial, but his visions are fresh and full of intrigue.
Yeah, for sure. I think you could bring a different creative vision to the Ryan Drake series. And I like the idea of like Ryan just preparing to go on a mission, you know, and he's just heading across the road to CIA headquarters and just gets run over by a random car. Killed.
There we go.
That's the brighter expectations, you see.
Well, Drinker, you'll be pleased to know I've already been making some notes on how we can bring this to life on the big screen, and I've actually already cast who's going to play Ryan Drake, and it is, get ready, man, babies, this is breaking news.
Is it Tessa
Brie
Thompson?
Lawson. Brie Lawson will play Ryan Drake. There we go. Coming to a cinema near you.
I want Rachel Zegler to play him.
Oh, well, you know.
She's available.
Roll the credits.
She's not going to be doing much these days.
About an hour to get through the pre-credit sequence.
What do we say? 30 minutes?
Well, we were having so much fun, Brown. I can't, can't stop the party when it's rocking. Okay, man, babies, hold on to your asses because it gets a little rough from here on in, or at least that's what Uncle Owen said to Z when they were doing the dirty the other night. And this episode is called Dreams and Madness. I don't know why. But,
that's a hark back to what Bell and Skull said in the last episode.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Shouldn't the last episode have been called that? Then?
Yeah, it should have really.
Either the last episode should have been called that, or the payoff should have actually been in this episode. But from what I can record of this episode, which to be honest isn't very much, the there's no dreams or madness in this episode. He just stands around doing nothing, and then stands around doing nothing, and continues to stand around doing nothing, and so he doesn't actually have any kind of resolution.
Well, we finally get to see Ahsoka in Ahsoka. We didn't see her at all in the last episode after the credits rolled, and she's doing what can only be described as some very half-assed kind of training maneuvers. Drinker, what did you make of this kind of kata style routine she's performing?
See, at this point in the story, this should be the point where Ahsoka is driven. She wants payback, and this should be where she is training so hard that she's pushing herself to breaking point for her next encounter, betraying some of the turmoil that she feels over having had her ass kicked. But instead it's just another lazy, just Rosario Dawson going through some scripted maneuvers that she barely can do. She looks kind of bored, and there's again not an ounce of emotion at any point throughout it. So yeah, you're not really giving us what we're looking for here, story.
They've done the opposite, haven't they? So I agree with you. So when she's been, the traditional way to do that is if the character has been beaten, or at least the hero's journey way to do it is character is beaten, character then has to train really hard, work really hard, is much more driven, and eventually overcomes the enemy that beat them. But they seem to think that like rebirthing her as Ahsoka the White is actually her finding peace because of that weird world between worlds lesson where there's like I choose life or whatever the train spotting thing is that they did. And I don't care. Like, what does that even mean? What does your character want anymore, except to vaguely find this person who's almost ruined the entire galaxy?
And yeah, if you're taking her to this level where she's ascended to this higher plane of understanding, she wouldn't even be training at all. Like, it's unnecessary at this point, or it should be at this point in her character development. So yeah, it's another meaningless scene, just like the previous one.
We've got a comment there from LV Up Z, who says this was the worst lightsaber work ever.
It was. Ahsoka's training was like she had early onset rheumatoid arthritis, or a head cat
at least. Or something. Yeah, at least when she was up against Anakin in like the previous episode or whatever, it's like you've got someone good there to work off. Like when you've got two lightsabers clashing against each other, at least it's somewhat entertaining. But like when it's just her on her own, it really betrays how shit she is at this stuff.
And this is nothing like the Ahsoka that we saw in season 7 of the Clone Wars. This is like an elderly slow Ahsoka, I'm going to call her.
Slow Ahsoka.
It's like it's like watching Steven Seagal run. You know, it's just very slow and ponderous.
Jay Chambers says, at least the fat kid from the old YouTube video had passion. Very true. And we've got another line which could be used on the Ahsoka poster. It looked terrible and it went on forever.
Yeah, it did. They could have sped this scene up. It would have looked a lot more impressive, I think.
I was really jarred by Anakin as well. The de-aging or makeup or whatever they're using is absolutely terrible in this episode.
Yeah. I think they were very lucky, or they were probably glad that they just had a hologram to work with so they can, soften him up a little bit, try and hide a few sins. But yeah, it looks bad.
And they make reference, don't they, to Ahsoka having recorded about 20 of these different hologram messages just to be able to wedge in Hayden and a member berry. So have a drink, you filthy man babies.
It was so unnecessary as well, because the droid comes in and then Ahsoka tells the droid. Her droid, as far as I understand, has been traveling around with her since basically forever. And Ahsoka says, oh, by the way, he left me 20 of these. And the droid says, oh, I had no idea. I said, but what are you trying to accomplish with that line of dialogue? The droid should already know, and the audience can work it out. So what's the point in that exposition? That's just a complete waste of words.
This is a callback to Star Wars Rebels, where they show one of the recordings, very similar fashion, where he's demonstrating the adaptation of Form 4. So it's kind of in canon, but it just doesn't seem to fit here.
Mr. Brown, are you back with us?
Yes.
Yes, you've emptied the bag. Good. Okay, could you read this one out from MJ UK 84, please?
It looked terrible and it went on forever. brown after getting laid.
Oh, burn. MJ, you could get a ban for that, but I enjoyed it. She almost folds her arms. She may be folding her arms. I can't quite see, but I just wish she'd fold them when she had those lightsabers in her hands. Then she might sever herself.
You know what's frustrating about this scene? Again, I think if this had been in the hands of a semi-competent writer, you could have done something interesting with her character here, where she watches the hologram recording of him and almost has like a heart-to-heart with it. Like, oh my God, I feel like I've failed Sabine. I'm not the teacher that you were to me. Something like that. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just I'm a bit lost now. How am I ever going to put all this right? But we just get nothing. Like, this scene's pointless. It doesn't give us anything about her or where she's at as a person.
Great shout from LV Up Z. The training droid. There was a literal training droid they could have reused at this point to give it a bit more energy and interaction. But
yeah, the Yang on hard mode. And go back to that previous slide.
Oh, sorry, I'll do it.
Tell that to the younglings at the temple.
True. Very true.
He could have actually jumped in and trained her because she's got a cabinet full of lightsabers on the wall.
Yeah, I noticed that. It made me wonder why she didn't take one with her as a spare for Ezra.
I remember them sphere things. I remember.
Yeah, well spotted. Yeah, they Luke's balls in there. Is that what we're looking at?
Yep.
Back into the cockpit or the gender neutral vehicle driving area, whatever you have to call it these days.
Roo, shall we do a couple of super chats?
Yeah, let's do some super chats. They must be queuing up. Absolutely. Common people, my old mates, for £5 English pounds, real money. British pounds, apologies to our Scottish friends. As my old dad used to say, I like mine the size it is. Oh, wow. That's like something you get out of a fortune cookie. Princess Fiona for $2 says Trans Admiral Yawn defeated by space crickets. Yeah, there's your episode summary right there. And then, what a fabulous name, Darth Queefus says, "Oh, I seem to have kicked myself in the face while tying my shoelaces precisely as I planned." And that's his little mockery of Thrawn.
I do wonder if that's Thrawn's strategy throughout all this. Is like he constantly fucks up, but he just tries to pass it off as like, "Oh yes, this was what I intended the whole time."
It's. I've got to say, I had big hopes for Thrawn because I heard so much good things about him, and he's a bit of a damp squib, if I'm honest. I'm not really taken to him at all. Z, this doesn't feature the word billions, but it does have a similar sounding one. So can I get you to read this one, please?
Yes,
and pretend
Conrad
it says billions.
in the chat for $5 says, "Man, I wish I got billions to make Star Wars fan fiction like Dave. But then again, I was told that Ahsoka doesn't do anal, so it's a wash. Quick prosy wash, and then you're back in action."
Oh, God. So just remind me, someone, Chordy, probably a good choice. They are still, are they still, oh, God. They're not inside the mouth of the...
They're in the mouth,
yeah.
They are still in the mouth of the whale.
Oh, and the droid makes the very valid point of like, we've got no fucking idea where we're going to end up. We might not even be in the right galaxy, never mind the right solar system, never mind the correct planet. How, like, what are the chances that this is going to work? And she's like, I don't know. I think the odds are good. And he's like, no, they're astronomically terrible. Like, it's literally a 1 in a trillion chance that we'll get this right.
I got the feeling they were playing. They knew it was shite, and they were just playing it for laughs. The writers.
I don't. I mean, maybe like it's not funny if that's what they're going for.
Well, no, it's not. But
even like it would have even been better if she just said like, "I've got a good feeling" or something. Like, I feel like there was an understanding between me and the space whale fucking stupid thing that we need to go to this place. Something like that. But she's just like, no, the odds are good. No, they're not. They're terrible. It's like, well, you should have told me then. Like,
They could have
that's
gone,
not a
"Nah, it'd be fine."
conversation.
No, it'd be fine.
It's like, yeah, it pisses me off in scripts like this where like one character has a really valid point and they've just pointed out like an incredibly stupid thing that everyone else has just gone along with, but then they just get immediately shot down or like spoken over.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not like we've had any location conveniences so far through this series at all, is it?
And even if they're going in the right direction, there's no telling that they've actually, stopped at the right place. Because I once got absolutely wankered and got a train home and fell asleep and ended up in Nottingham. And it's like, well, that wasn't at all where I needed or wanted to be, but that's just because I got off at the wrong time. But they try to, I don't think that they're not playing it for laughs, but it is the other cheap Get Out, which is just, yeah, we all know how improbable this is in the universe, but we're just going to go with it. I have faith in the whales. And then the droid says something like, the worst thing is I want to believe you or something. It's like, that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that you're in the complete wrong galaxy with no way of getting home.
You're saying that now, yeah.
It's okay, though. The space whales get eliminated pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
This looks like an outtake.
Oh,
It does, actually, yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's so weird to see her smile.
Loud rumbling.
Oh, yes, you like the audio descriptions, don't you, Brown? Forgot
Yeah,
about that.
fantastic.
You know what I like as well? An entire minefield that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I
there's
was
a whole
thinking
sequence coming
Galaxy
up, isn't there?
Quest when that was on. Galaxy Quest.
It does nothing, even as they choose to fly right through it rather than going up or down, which you can do in space. You can actually move away from the plane of the mines and you'll be fine, but they don't. Instead, the mines are just reliably useless. They don't stop the whales after, and yet, I think in the last episode, is it the last line or one of the last lines of the previous episode has Thrawn say something like, if whales appear from hyperspace, Star Wars, then you should kill them. And the mines are clearly not up to the task. So what else did you have in mind, Thrawn, or was this all part of your grand plan as well?
They've broken through the minefield and they're right on top of me, just as
it's not just a minefield; it's an imperial minefield.
Oh no, it's even worse.
It's actually
someone in chat mentioned as well. It's like Thrawn's got almost no resources left apart from 15,000 space mines.
Oh yeah, space mines. Why not? What happened?
Yeah, it's funny how resources are just like they come and go whenever the script needs them.
Do you remember the proximity activated seismic charges that Jango Fett used in Attack of the Clones?
Oh yeah, they were much better than these.
They were much better than these and would have worked a lot more effectively. So I don't know why they're not using those.
Slice through whales with more vengeance than Japanese people. They would be really effective.
They would. But no, we're going with space mines. Space mines that you can plot and chart a course out of.
James has got a new name for your channel, Brownie. Instead of the Brown Alliance, he should rename it to British People Criticise Things.
That's pretty good.
And he enjoys it. So we're glad you enjoy it.
Okay. Loud rumble. Loud rumble.
ASMR, Brown. Just because you've been knocked off the #1 spot by Geordie.
Yeah, no, well done, Geordie. It's your birthday. Well done, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Loud explosions.
Yeah, and here we go. We get a pointless action scene.
These really are like Lawnmower Man level special effects, right?
Dramatic music playing.
Do you think that they watched Avatar: The Way of Water and thought, yeah, everyone liked the whales. The whales are the only characters in that entire film that people seem to sort of sympathize with. Can we do something similar by having hyperspace whales fly through minefields? Will people feel sorry for them, or will they just laugh at the ridiculous premise?
I mean, I tell you, like if I was a military strategist, I would incorporate these whales into my fleet because they seem to be invulnerable to mines, so they're essentially indestructible, and they can hyperspace. So you could just hyperspace ram them into your opponents and obliterate them.
Holdo maneuver, brilliant, yeah. Kippers, can you warm up the old throat and read this rather long super chat from Girth Knight, if you would?
Garth Knight in the chat for $9.99. Wasn't there some show where a perceived smart leader has stupid plans, but his underlings always covered for his stupidity, and things always worked out? Hashtag SW Thrawn.
Doesn't feel right when you don't laugh at the end, but it's okay. Save it. Save it. It just
That was he talking about Dad's Army or something?
This is pretty brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
whales are providing
these big, beautiful, sentient hyperspace behemoths.
They're fucking terrified by all these explosions going off around them.
They've got this secondary use beyond being an intergalactic Uber, where they can just draw the mines in.
If the mines had been manufactured in Japan, it would have been brutal, wouldn't it?
What are you trying to say, Brown?
They already did the Japanese whaling joke. You can't.
Yeah,
do
no,
it
I'm trying to. Yes, I know you did. I heard it. Nobody else did. Moving on.
There's absolutely no concern for the creatures at all here, is there? At all?
Is the popping a whale exploding, or is it disappearing into hyperspace?
Disappearing.
We didn't get to see even one of them get killed. I'm disappointed.
Thank God.
This is the show attempting. The show is attempting to do a funny in this scene though, because the droid says the whales are providing cover. Then the whales disappear, and Ahsoka says, "Oh, you had to say that." Lol.
Yeah. At this point, we're just not buying her having any personality at all.
Have we had any successful comedy in the show at all for the entire series?
Only the unintentional kind, where we're just laughing at how stupid it is.
Oh, I got a titter out of the Huang line a couple of episodes ago. It's episode 3 where he went, "You're a hologram." That was quite amusing.
Oh, I remember that one now. Sorry, yeah.
I did enjoy the comedy of the Down syndrome cats. Does anyone remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Just before we go on, like Ahsoka's face there is fucking terrifying. Jesus.
It's called acting, William.
It's like she's about to eat the control column or something.
Oh, Ben, where's your avatar, mate?
I'm on a different computer and I don't have it. So
Question. You know the space whale at about 11 o'clock on the screen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That hyperspaced straight into the debris of the planet, the rings of the planet.
Oh yeah, the junk field.
It's fine when they do it though.
Okay. Right.
Lots of explosions here.
I'm seeing a line of mines in a kind of a flat plane, but nothing above or below. How stupid.
Yeah, just go up or down. You'll be fine.
Yeah, good point. Oh look, is she smiling or grimacing, or she got some trap wind? I don't know, but
Queef.
If in doubt, queef.
Appropriate queefage. Yeah. And this sequence just did go on and on and on, didn't it? I really did start getting bored at this point, which is something you should never do during an action scene. But
it's like
kind of because we've seen it already.
Return of the Jedi.
Well, we've already seen it in this show. It's effectively the same setup, even the same shot in this instance. They've come out of hyperspace, they fly toward the ring, the fighters come out, the fighters chase them. So you've already done this. Save the time.
You know what? It's interesting. Like in that previous space battle, the fighters were hitting them constantly and doing absolutely nothing to them, whereas they went for the opposite tactic here, where they never score a single hit.
I like that. That's a tactic as well. It's just let's shoot everywhere except at them, and maybe this time it will work.
Well, yeah. I mean, the end result is the same, and like no damage gets done to the ship, and it's able to just fly on like nothing's happening. But yeah, it doesn't really build these guys up as a credible threat, I guess.
And a few minutes ago, Hyang was just basically going, we could end up in any system around any planet. There they are. They're right there. This is just right in front of us, right there. God, what are the chances? It took less time to find them than Sabine did finding Ezra.
See, are you available for a gold-coloured super chat?
Ooh, must be a good one.
Action Figure Academy for $9.99.
Gotta sing it.
You're gonna have to sing it.
There's a star whale waiting in the skies. He'd like to take Ahsoka to the other side. There's a star whale waiting in the skies. He told us not to blow it because he knows Ezra's a toss, he told us.
Oh, fabulous,
Nice.
Z.
You were so good, you
Brilliant.
maxed out your audio on that one.
I think I probably did. It blew the speakers.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The chat are playing their own little game here of puns on Ahsoka the White. So we've got Ahsoka the White Trash, Ahsoka the White Privilege. Very
Ahsoka
good.
the white whale.
Oh,
And then bizarrely, just Ahsoka the Meth Head.
There's always
That's
that
the
one
word.
guy who goes down a different track, isn't there?
Yes. Well done, Waylon, a regular contributor there. Anyway, she's going to make for the debris field. Yeah, we all know this tactic. And she's being pursued. Someone speaking alien language.
firing.
So
Grunting.
grunting. Oh,
Now that's acting right there.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
grunting again.
They had David Tennant for this show. It still blows me away. It's like, this is what he is.
Has come up with my favourite, Ahsoka the White Dog Poo.
I thought that was a relic of my childhood.
Oh,
Apparently,
me too.
No.
Real.
it
White
still
dog poo.
exists.
Do you get all the Americans in the chat? Indeed, anyone from anywhere else? Do you get white dog poo in your country? Please do let us know.
It's, you know what it is, don't you? It's chewed up dog bones. That's
Really?
why it's white. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
I thought it was just because it had been out in the sun.
This is
Yeah,
the
but
kind
it's
of
like
trivia that
fungus
people
or
come to
something.
this channel for. It's why is dog poo white? You
'Cause
wouldn't
there's
get that
so-
on
You know,
another.
well,
chewed-up
here's
dog.
the thing: we're unraveling all the mysteries that's perplexed
life.
us as kids
Yeah.
for so long.
It's a lot more
So-
stimulating in this show, anyway.
Oh yeah.
So a dog
Shoot 'em.
chews the bones of another dog and then shats it out, and that's what we end up the white dog
Oh, it's,
poo.
one
Yeah,
of
Well, I
so-
don't think
the-
it's the bones of another dog. That's cannibalism.
Instead of dog's bones.
Yeah, dog bones. Like,
Dog
But
bones.
just
Give the
dog
dog a
bones.
not
bone.
from an actual dog.
Or do the
Oh,
dogs,
God, I can
shit out
relax
their own
now.
bones? Is that what you're saying?
No, the calcium
No,
in
you
it
give
turns the
them,
poo
Calcium.
you give
white.
them like, what are they from? Like pigs or something, like bones. To
Back
chew
in the
on.
day, back in the day, you'd go to the butchers in the 70s and 80s and say, "Could I have a bone for the dog?" And he would gladly give you a.
Mm,
But when
It's either
BSC,
from a pig
you know,
or possibly a human
Yeah.
that they murdered. Who knows?
mm.
when Mad Cow came about, that was it. End of dog
Wow.
bones. Moving on.
Well, wait till you see what happens when a frog fucks a parrot.
That was a quality side quest conversation, I've got to admit.
Oh yes, we've tangented off there because this fucking action
Sorry,
scene's
folks.
so boring.
Ships whooshing.
Anyway, sorry, we did have a super chat to do there. Black lives or black votes. I can only hear this in Chordy's voice, so if you would please, Chordy.
How do you Ahsoka KKA? Ahsoka KKA? Ahsoka KKA? One of those, yeah. You got several different versions for that.
There you
199.
go.
I
Yours.
love in
Oh,
chat.
God.
Someone just mentioned as well. When talking about dog shit is literally more entertaining than talking about Ahsoka.
I was getting well into that, yes, so it's clear.
Brownie, have you just inserted some random fucking image from some cheap 70s
I quite
show?
I quite
Oh,
like
please.
that. It's almost look at that.
That's
Oh,
like
Brownie.
that's like I said to an AI, like, do me Star Wars in the style of Wes Anderson.
Well, it would be better.
It's almost like
Wow.
steampunk, steam spunk. I don't know. It's
It's
strange.
so generic and forgettable.
It is terrible. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Brown, the chat, none of them are with you, I'm afraid.
Sorry, I'm used to it by now. Here you go. Waylon Persephus for $2. Filoni is terrible at making villains a threat.
I think you could have just stopped after the third word in that one.
Filoni is terrible.
Funny Bunny
Yeah.
says, you either talk about dog shit or you live long enough to become dog shit.
Very good. Another fine super chat. Z, why don't we get you to do this one if you would?
Oh, TNZ in the chat for New Zealand, $10.
Jesus.
Hail Brown, panel, and distinguished retrobates. Thank God this ends next week. What should have been a huge emotional reunion is about as exciting as going to the postbox. Not even Big Ray could save this one.
He's
Rest in
right.
peace.
He's so right.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And he was probably, I mean, Drinker, you said he's probably the best thing out the whole damn show, isn't he, Ray Stevenson?
He is, and it's not because like his character's well written or anything. It's just 100% his performance. He makes a lot out of very little. There's the Star Destroyer getting fisted.
Quiet. Humming. I remember.
Yeah, well, look, it looks like Star Wars all of a sudden, which is something you can't say for the rest of it.
Like, what are they even transporting?
That's
so important.
Don't know.
Cargo's obviously coffins. They're shaped like coffins. They look like coffins.
They are,
Their computer icon is that of a coffin. If this ends up with no payoff in the last episode, like Marok did, I'm really going to be pissed.
Is it going to be more witches or something?
I don't understand this because the grandmothers, they knew that Morgan Elsbeth was coming. So why didn't they preload up the Star Destroyer? Ready to go back. This is just time wasting. They could have
probably the same reason why they don't just like send the Star Destroyer off across the planet to bombard Ezra and those little shell crab people from orbit and just wipe them out instantly, thus having no opposition whatsoever.
And remember the Last Jedi made such a big issue about fuel. What's been fueling the Chimera for the last 10 years?
Don't know.
How has it kept going? Did they land? What the hell? What's going on?
I still can't believe it's been 10 years. It's ridiculous.
Obi-Wan Darkside, €2. Filoni is white dog poo.
A fair
Racist.
shout.
Yeah, it's still shit, but it's interesting shit.
So here's the Elon Musk painted blue with a bad wig on, and there's the old lady Brown and kick out of bed. So I guess you give a 10, would you, Brown?
Yeah, Bruce Lee's granddaughter or goddaughter, should I say?
So where did she get the inquisitorial database from?
Apple.
Because I guess she must have. Well, she downloaded it from the cloud. Because he asked her in the last episode to give her all the information ever on Ahsoka, and so she said yes. And then she just happens to have this on her.
She actually traveled back to her own galaxy, found the information, and then came back here and got it. Yeah.
Did she steal it from the Philadelphia Apple store?
Maybe they rushed the store. They had the local gang rush the store.
As an Imperial Star Destroyer, surely they should have a file on Ahsoka Tano. Would they not?
Just like to pause this moment.
They were in control and they knew that she was alive. Surely he should have already had a file on her.
You would think so, Z, but that would involve an element of
ask the question for
thinking
Drinker.
It through. I do want to ask the question of the Drinker. I'm dying to know. So, Drinker, we did rip the shit out of this guy the other week. What are your thoughts on, as I like to call him, Captain Eunuch and his very bizarre-looking gold face? What do you make of this?
The thing is, it's not as bad when he's moving because you can see that it's a mask and it's decorative and stuff. But like when we got it as a still image here, it just looks retarded.
Yeah,
it should be something in Teletubbies or something. It's just so...
The grumpy trooper. He's feeling grumpy. Look at his grumpy face.
You want me to do what?
It's very bizarre, isn't it? I do think Filoni thought he was being clever here by referencing the old like gladiatorial face masks and the I don't know. I bet he did think he was being clever.
I think you could do something with this, but you'd have to spend a lot more time with the stormtroopers when you maybe have like an elite squad of them that like personalize their armor and like they're veterans and they've killed a bunch of people and they got like war trophies dangling from their armor and stuff. That's something you could do, but this is just thrown in there with no context or anything. It just looks so stupid.
Do we actually see him doing anything this episode, or does he just stand around?
No, I think he winks at one point, Swappers, but we've got some alternative names for Captain Eunuch. I'd like to share a couple with you, and then we'll see what else the chat comes up with. There's one from Kiriantos, Goldie looking twat, and Storm Grumper. And what else you got for us, chat? We'll see what they come up with. They never let us down.
You go.
Someone's asked, like, if you turn his head around, do you get a smiley face on the other side?
Oh, yes, like the old theatre masks. Yeah, very
it was like Good Cop, Bad Cop from like the Lego movie.
Oh God, yeah, very good.
I did see some people swinging about a bit of plagiarism on Dave Filoni's part because of this, because there's an animated series called Ben 10 that has a character called Enon Kinnett, who is head of the Forever Knights, who also wears a gold mask. So he is the leader of an army wearing a gold mask called Enoch.
Yep. Waylon and several others in the chats, Z, also making that point there. So you're all absolutely on the nose with that one. A few more. Captain Clunt. I think resting witch face is surely the Morgan Elspeth, isn't it? But yes, we'll keep an eye on what other names you come up with. Anyway, back to Elon Musk.
This is the equivalent of, like, I'm going to put them in an easily escapable situation featuring an overly elaborate and exotic death.
So there's a bit of a bit of a dispute going on, isn't there?
This is such a dumb conversation to have. With all due respect, shouldn't we just kill them? No, it's the last thing they'll be expecting.
It does make Thrawn look like a bit of a dick, and from everything I know, he isn't his Chordy, I feel like you're the man to give us the lowdown on Thrawn. He is known for his tactical prowess, isn't he? Isn't that the whole shtick?
So he was, when he was first created in the books, he was one of the reasons he was such a popular villain is that he wasn't magical, he didn't have the Force, he didn't have lightsabers, he wasn't a great sort of combat type villain. He was very, very clever, and from what I gather, at least the books conveyed his intelligence quite well, which is what made him so popular. His upbringing, his backstory is effectively rising through quite a prejudicial empire and proving himself because of his abilities. But crucially, the writer was able to portray those abilities. I haven't seen the Clone Wars, Rebels, so I don't know how he emerges from that. I imagine it's closer to this, where it's just like, it's designed to sound smart, but if you look beneath the surface, it's really quite dumb. But in this show, he's definitely just dumb.
No, it's played the same way in Rebels. A lot of people complained that it was nothing like Thrawn from the books, and he was more like Thrawn light.
So
we're getting to know our adversary. Why do you just kill them? You can learn about that after the fact. Just kill them now. Oh, and there's another thing. Again, classic stupid person writing smart character lines. He says something like, "Yeah, we have to send Ahsoka on her own path after this. Like we have to." Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
we have to control all the variables. We control all variables. So put her on a path of her own choosing, but our own choosing. Sorry, I misread that. But it's still like. It doesn't.
Well, no, because the thing that prompts this is because he reads her file and it's like she's highly unpredictable and dangerous. It's like, well, okay, we have to control all the variables. It's like, well, no, the whole point of someone being unpredictable is that you inherently can't control the variables around them.
And even then, I'm not like, what is the overarching plan here? So he wants, as best I can work out, his entire plan boils down to, we want these people to be far away from us so we can leave. I think that's it, but he keeps doing things which don't really add up. Even sending Sabine off to try and find Ezra when he later says, well, it doesn't really matter if they live or get stranded here because, they're still going to be stuck. It's like, well, then why are you doing any of this? Just kill them. There's no point, this long, elaborate ruse.
If you just shot
all they need
Sabine,
is access to more space whales and they'll just come right back to your galaxy. So you definitely shouldn't leave them here unchecked.
Yeah, I mean, if he just offed Sabine the moment that he met her, pleased to meet you, and then just shot her dead, there'd be no finding Ezra at all. He wouldn't even know that they were there. Just kill her.
Well, we are back to the mouth of the whale, and oh no, they're out the mouth now, aren't they? Or are they? Yeah, they are out the mouth. Okay.
I do
They're
like
in the
though that
debris
the
field.
whales acted effectively as machines, like aircraft carriers. So as soon as they took off to leave the whale's mouth, the whale immediately and obligingly just said, "Okay, open the mouth, off you go."
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think whales really work like that, but we'll run with it.
Like the whale might have vomited them out in sheer terror, like all the mines and stuff around it, or it could have swallowed them, and they'd have to come out the other end, and that would just be unpleasant for everyone involved.
More unpleasant.
Nice shots out of your back garden, I believe, here, Drinker. A bit of Scotland.
Yeah,
here, isn't it?
this is positively lush compared to what I see every day.
And then we get to
God, these fucking things.
Crab people again. Crab people.
Oh, brilliant! I've been looking forward to this bit the most.
It's very CGI.
Taste like crab, look like people.
I got heavy Jar Jar Binks Phantom Menace vibes from some of this shit, I've got to be honest, and that's putting it nicely.
I'd have taken Jar Jar Binks at this stage.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not.
I am so sick as well of how obliging Ezra is. Like, if she'd showed up, right, and every time I asked her a question about how she got here and what was involved and what's going on, she just like gave me the most evasive answers, like, and just changed the subject. That would be a huge red flag that she was hiding something really bad from me.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, no, like I'm not going to wait. You have. I want you to answer this question now because this is important.
And Sabine not telling Ezra that what she's up to or what's happened is just an exercise in stupidity. Why not just tell him? You can prepare for what's to come and on your way back. It's complicated. Is not a good enough answer. What can possibly be gained from not telling Ezra the truth at this point?
Well, I mean, at this, like, obviously she doesn't want him to know that she basically sacrificed the entire galaxy and gave Thrawn what he wanted in order to get to him. She doesn't want him to know that, but there's other information she could at least tell him. And he should not be satisfied with these evasive answers of it's complicated. It's like, well, uncomplicate it. Or, you know, we're on these fucking things for the next 10 hours. I've got plenty of time. Like, explain it to me. What's going on?
It's pretty crucial as well, because this is our first introduction. The majority of the audience doesn't know who Ezra Bridger is. Unless you've watched Rebels, you don't know who he is. And most people did not watch Rebels. So for the general audience, this is the first time we see him in the flesh as a character, nominally as a character. And so what you really need to do is to, as quickly and efficiently as possible, you do actually need to establish that he has a character. And one of the ways you do that is by having him interrogate her evasive answers. Like, he needs to show some sort of intelligence, some sort of ingenuity. He has to be something, not just this passive recipient of information, because that just makes it seem like the show isn't that interested in him. And so why should we be either?
May I say to everybody in the chat, Ruin, you did it. Take the biggest fucking drink you can. The Emperor died, everybody.
Oh, God, here we go.
Drowned your sorrows, everybody.
Oh, dear.
What is it she says? Like, that's what some people think, or something.
You know, I bet
that's what people say.
Somehow,
fuck,
Palpatine will return. I bet.
Well, you know, some channels get super chats, but only on the Brown Alliance do we get super chats which involve whole reams of script. And MJ UK has submitted a script and has requested Zee and Brown to play this one out. So, Brown, I think, will make you Ezra, and Zee will make you Sabine. Take it away, please, chaps.
It's been a while, Sabine. Yes. Oh, sorry. So I'll start again.
You're not meant to read the stage directions, Brown.
It has. I see you have crabs.
Fade in. Ezra, it's been a while.
What?
No, starting from the top.
Start again. Don't say the character names.
Fade in. Fade in. It's been a while.
It has. I see you have crabs.
Yeah, you should probably get checked.
Exit stage left.
Oh, MJ, you'll get a refund for that. That was fucking terrible. That was, well, it was actually no worse than some of the acting we've seen.
It was worth it for the fade in. Anyway, moving on.
So hang on a minute, right? The end of Return of the Jedi, billion upon billion upon billions of people celebrating across the galaxy that the Empire have been defeated, the Emperor's dead, and we've still got people saying, well, maybe.
Well, that's where we're at, folks. we are crawling at a literal snail's pace inside these fucking bugs, and yes, just expositioning us to death.
Zee, you have a gold-coloured super chat, please, mate.
I am. My nerdy home for $9.99 in dollars says, "Happy birthday! Sorry you have to spend it talking about Ahsoka. Here's some money. Smiley face."
Oh, it's great. It's my birthday and he gets the money. Fantastic.
That's the breaks, mate.
Thank you. Anyway.
So I think we've got to the point of the show, and who can blame him, but we've got this god-awful fucking scene, and I think this is the moment where we are going to release the drinker from this terrible fucking torture. So I just want to thank the drinker for joining us for this first part of the episode, and we look forward to you breaking it down further on your show tomorrow, drinker.
No, thank you, man. It's like I'm fascinated by this scene as well. It looks like Jesus having a conversation with a gender studies professor. It's amazing. Look at that look. Honestly. Oh, God. If smug was an expression, there it is. But yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure being on tonight. Talking about this not so great show, but hey, we had amazing conversations about dog poo. So
yeah.
I'm happy.
It wasn't wasted.
That's why people come here.
Yep.
Well, thank you, drinker. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on, and we'll catch you again. And folks, Man Baby's in the chat. If you don't know him, he's an up-and-coming YouTuber. You should check him out. He's got a little YouTube channel. We're trying to get his figures up. So please do go visit the Critical Drinker. I'm sure he's going to make it big one of these days. So
thank you. I appreciate you guys helping out smaller channels like me. So thanks, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I suppose on Open Bar.
Yeah, we'll see you.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers, drinker.
Cheers, Walt. Take care.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Well, a drinker exits stage left, but we continue on
for that
with this shit show. And it really is. Is it just me? Ahsoka's been bad, but this is the worst of all Ahsoka. Is that fair?
I don't know.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, really? What's worse? It's fucking terrible.
You know why I say that?
Go on, as I sigh deeply.
He's bringing a little bit of testosterone to it.
Oh, come on. Really?
I do like the actor, and he is playing the character very well.
I was going to say, just because Sabine has short hair doesn't mean she's a man, but
I thought he was pretty good.
Okay. I just keep looking at him thinking, discount Gerard Butler in 300.
I thought he was the doctor, the master from Doctor Who.
What, Sacha Dhawan?
Yeah, because you know when you did the recap, I didn't quite read it properly, and I thought it was Doctor Who. I thought, what?
It was Doctor Who. David Tennant's playing him.
Yeah, but I thought you meant him. Anyway, moving on. I'm thick.
I'm with you, Erin. I also got beta vibes and low T. So yes,
kind of
absolutely.
a hippie in
Welcome
this.
to my world, love.
And the fight scene that comes up later is just all kinds of wrong. But I don't think this is the worst of Ahsoka. Maybe I've just become sort of blandly neutralized, numbed by it. Yeah, that's the one. This one didn't piss me off as much as most of the other episodes. I just sat there watching it thinking, oh God.
I have stopped drinking. I ran out of Pimm's, but I've got half a bottle of
Don't say it.
tonic. Moving on.
Well, we do get Shin Hottie here, drinker. Not such a fan as we are on the Man Baby Alliance channel. I've just renamed your channel there, Brown. Is that a wok on someone's head on the right, or am I just seeing it differently? It does look.
I think it's like a
wokish
anvil.
I'm not the only one. See, a few others there were getting onto it. Oh, I just nearly banned a user accidentally. I nearly pressed the wrong button there.
Shall we clear these super chats? Really?
Yeah, we better have, haven't we?
It'd be rude, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, we like being rude.
Obi-Wan Darkside, €5. Would Z prefer Anthony Daniels in him, or is he happy with the new guy? Z?
Well, anyone wants to come knocking on my doors, they're always open.
Wolfsbane for $2. Did Filoni kill off Cannon to keep Hera? Kanan.
He killed Cannon as well, though.
Freudian slip there, folks. Keep Hera for himself.
Probably. You know, he exists as a character in this universe, so.
I dread to think of what he requests his wife to dress up like at home.
Professor R2 for $2. And now back to intersectional space. Jonah. Well, that was about half an hour ago. But...
Yeah.
But Dave, I don't like your kinky sex games. Shut up and put the cat on your head.
Emperor, are you available, please, my friend?
TNZ for $5 New Zealand dollars says Chuck Norris can punch you so hard that you bleed someone else's blood, which would still be more entertaining than Ahsoka. Cheers.
Ran out of channel names for $2. The Empire went green years ago.
Green?
Really? They got net zero, have they? Well,
I think the UK government are not doing that anymore, are they?
Well, just postponed it, Brown. Hopefully for fucking ever.
Buy diesel, everybody.
One.
So I wasn't here last week because I was busy drinking unlimited free wine in Italy. It's a really hard life. But did we discuss at any point last week what exactly the relationship between these grandmothers and Thrawn is? It's like, why are they subservient to him? What is the relationship between them? What are they hoping to get out of him? They just seem to be very conveniently there and on side, even though I thought the Empire genocided Dathomir at some point. So why they are helping him, I'm not entirely sure.
No is the answer.
No.
And the reason being because the fucking show doesn't explain anything. It's the slowest show ever with lots of exposition, apart from explaining the important things. So
at the end of the last episode, he asked for their dark magics. Did we find out what that was for either?
No.
Because he's come for their services again, so I don't know what they did.
That looks like he's having a piss. I had to double take at the moment.
True. Girth Knight in the chat for $4.99 says, Brownie, again, you really have some unusual things on your channel. We've now got questions for super chat questions for other people in the chat. Girth Knight wants to get Dark Side of the Wok's opinion on the headgear of the Marauders. Anything considered a wok? I think he did clarify there's no wokage action, Girth, but we'll just see if he does. He can give you 100% on that one. So we'll pass on your super chat, Girth. Thank you. Oh yeah, Pistrine just dying off a bit. Yeah.
And then this. So he said, no, called off the fighter screen because we don't need to find her while she's in the asteroid field or whatever it is. And now he's saying, use your magic so we can find her and drive her out. But then why did you call off the pursuit? Just carry on chasing her. I don't understand Thrawn. It's really annoying. I keep watching him because I know what Thrawn is supposed to be. I kept watching him thinking, no, maybe there is something I'm just not getting. Maybe his plan really is clever and I'm just not seeing it. And then I had to remind myself that, no, this is written by Dave Filoni.
Magic bullshit machine, everybody.
Do you know who's playing the leader of the Great Mothers? That's Claudia Black.
Wow.
Really?
Who?
She's an Australian actress.
WWE wrestler.
A couple of TV series. I watched her in Stargate.
Yeah, Farscape.
Farscape, yeah.
Yeah. Quite hot.
Very.
Ship beeping.
So they're trying to find Sabine Wren.
Why did you get to be called Lady and not Sabine? I don't understand.
Because she's got a boyish haircut and they need to reaffirm her femininity, imagine.
And then, so Ahsoka's reaching out using the Force to commune with Sabine, who doesn't have the Force, and yet is sitting next to an actual Jedi who does have the Force, who really needs more of an introduction into the show than we've got. I don't accept that the show really wants to portray this as this relationship healing, even though it's done no work to substantiate that. I don't really understand why she's communing with Sabine in this situation as opposed to communing with Ezra.
She knows Ezra. They're both friends, so
Yeah.
it should have been quite easy. I mean, Ezra says a bit later on that he's been training and using the Force in different and exciting martial arts ways. So he has been training for the last 10 years. She should have been able to connect to him immediately.
Sorry.
Punchable face, hello, sir, saying lady is a preferred pronoun. There's the answer you're looking for.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah. So we have a moment of Force lesbianism, I think. Is that what it is?
It's either that or she's forgotten to turn the gas off at home. One of the two.
Queefing, perhaps, nearly.
Oh, maybe.
Just going, shit, my cat.
I thought this guy was great.
Oh, is anyone with Brown in the chat?
No,
I am.
Yes, straight away.
Zee and Brown both like this guy.
I liked him.
I thought he was fucking crap.
I don't mind the actor. I think he can act. He actually has facial expressions, which is one up on everybody else in the show. I just don't like the way the character's written. I don't really have strong opinions either way on the actor,
though. You are getting some support, Brown and Z. Although Erin says no, Cat Stevens high on space weed.
Well, I've been. It took me 7 hours on and off to do the slides, and I thought it was okay. So I'm going to pull rank. It was okay. Rest of it was dog shite, but
white dog shite.
Yeah, dog poo. Yeah, bone poo.
And with some quiet queefing, they've managed to locate, I believe, whatever they're looking for.
Those testicles can do everything. They imprison Sabine and they drag her around. They're also geolocators now, for some reason. I do wonder what else they can do as well. Pleasure, maybe.
Yeah, are they really witches or just more technologically advanced? I mean, it's Arthur C. Clarke's third law: any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And I think they're just more tech advanced than he is. It just looks like magic.
Are they like techno mages out of Babylon 5?
Sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Here's Captain Eunuch again, still looking slightly pissed off, isn't he? Maybe he can put his smiley face on next time.
He's having a piss as well. Can you see it?
Oh, let's go back and have a look. Oh, yes.
He's having a piss. Yeah.
Golden piss.
You caught me having a piss, Admiral.
Even the hologram technology they've got on board that ship is a lot more advanced than Imperial or Republic technology. So I don't know. That's kind of me leaning towards Dathomirians just being more advanced than everybody else.
Atom Gray has some thoughts on Captain Eunuch. He says, "Fuck that mask."
Shall we clear the super chats, mate?
Yeah, let's do some super chat time.
Nikki Rellahan.
Hello, Nikki.
£2, real money. Hairpiece of the Empire.
Yeah, I like it, Nikki.
Pandawan for £5. Eunuch is a eunuch. Darth Queefus. Have we done this? I can't remember. These crab tards have hover tanks, yet use slingshots.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was
particularly. When did the crab people get repulsor lift technology? Just Creature design in Star Wars, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
repulsive technology, but yeah, they've got fucking catapults. Oh God. How can anyone defend this? Sorry, Brad.
Sorry.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. You get another one.
Double press, mate.
Oh.
Pandawan for 2 real. Shin Blink Bitch. This one's for you, Roo.
Well, Girth Knight says, I want to like Ezra because of Zee and Brownie. He is charming, I suppose.
He's all right. He's all right.
We need to cue the next.
Yeah, I'll do.
Already on it.
Hang on a minute. They were remote. Let me just get this straight. They were remote controlling that hyperspace ring to shoot at this thing here where they're hiding, right? So that thing's got weapon capabilities. It doesn't just transport them across the galaxy. It can act as a gunship or something as well.
Oh yeah, because that was back when we first were introduced. It has the flak cannons on it, which for some reason it's now not using. Laser flak. The ring has laser flak.
What? Wonky man in the chat for 2 English pounds says Mon Mothma still has more wands than Shin Hoti. I mean, that's controversial.
She's had more screens.
Can we just let me just gauge the chat? And I know it's you have to be so inclined, and we have a mix of all preferences in the chat and people and etc. But if you're playing our game, who's the hottest? Is it Shin Hoti or is it Mon Mothma? Give me your thoughts, chat. Brownie, are you sticking with the old Mon Mothma?
Experience does count for a lot, but then there's the
crazy
youth.
They're crazy.
Oh no, I'm gonna go for experienced.
Oh, Z. Draws breath.
Chloe.
Is she paying?
Yes.
My Mothra will take you to McDonald's for a breakfast.
And then definitely yes.
Okay. Swappers?
Oh, well, I mean, they all look the same when you bend them over in hyperspace, ram them from behind, don't they?
Oh, God, here we go, look. Monsk, Mothma. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Geordie, I know it's your birthday, so let's get wild. If you had to, Geordie, a bit of Mon Mothma or a bit of Shin Hoti?
No, Shin Hoti is definitely more my type. But then Mon Mothma, well, back when Andor was out, Mon Mothma was compared to Nancy Pelosi, I think it is. And that is like the introduction to an Indiana Jones film. So I'm not going anywhere near something that old and dusty and that filled and cobwebby.
That's absolutely brutal comparison.
Moving on. Moving on. Poor joke.
So we have lots of shit going on. None of it really matters because we know Ahsoka's not going to get blown to bits. Old girl face is back. He's actually worried here, so he's suggesting they prepared defenses.
He's pissing again off screen. Can you see it?
There's one thing I do like about the character is the sound of his voice is quite interesting.
Fair play.
How is he pissing no-handed? That's a neat trick.
Well, he's just been banging Z, so he's still got a bit of a semi on, and it's. So you like them old, Brown, but not this old. Sorry, no, go, Geordie, go.
Oh no, I was going to say this is the culmination of Thrawn's great plan. Is that he sent Sabine away because that means Ahsoka will go and find Sabine instead. But he could have just kept her there, lured her in, killed them, whatever. It's not very much by way of a plan. But I was trying to think while watching the episode, like how do you do this better in a way that actually shows Thrawn as being more resourceful and intelligent, and that makes Ezra more important than he seems to be in the show? Because now they found him, it's just like, well, he's there, and that's it. We've done that bit. He's not very important. One way of doing that, I think, is if you have Ezra in possession of something Thrawn needs to actually get off this planet, like some piece of kit for the Star Destroyer or some map or whatever, any kind of MacGuffin that Ezra has. And then, lo and behold, Sabine turns up, and then Ahsoka comes after, and then Thrawn can manipulate them because he knows they want to find Ezra. And that's a way of making all of these people, A, more characterful, and B, more involved, and C, more important, and also making Thrawn actually have something like a plan which would have worked, which he needs to actually effectuate. Whereas in this version, what he's planning would have happened even if he wasn't there. He has no actual agency in this show. And it's just like, why have you taken this genius and made him so redundant, but also made Ezra redundant as well? Ezra is not really a character in the show. He serves no role as yet, at least.
Who remembers the chest burster from Alien?
But
with stupid eyes. I don't understand the anatomy of this. How would those eyes work?
As Cider Pete so eloquently says, fucking state of that. It's really poor.
If the eyes were actually just remove the stalks and put the eyes where the base of the stalks were, fine. But what the fuck?
You said that before about Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, you're obsessed with the eyes slightly not where they should be. You don't ever watch The Little Mermaid, Brown. It's going to freak you out.
So is he wearing a turtleneck?
Oh,
Lord, Chordy, come on.
Swappers, you available for Super Chat, mate?
JJ Gosling in the chat for 2 English pounds. Ezra gives me strong Ulysses 31 vibes. I have to agree myself.
Everybody check out Ulysses 31. The full series is on YouTube. It's really good.
Probably one of the best animated series you will ever watch in your life.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Chordy, you should watch it. You'd enjoy it.
I'm just going to make a note of that. I'll take your recommendation.
Ulysses 31. All the episodes are on the tube.
Yeah, it's based on some ancient Greek mythology, the Iliad and all that sort of stuff. It's just amazing. They kind of updated it into a sci-fi anime. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good.
This pissed me off more than it probably should have, but it's a recurring problem in this whole series. The reactions of the characters remove any sense of threat and foreboding. So where we have Ezra, is that right? Ezra? The guy with the beard? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Ezra. Yeah. Where he says to Sabine, friends of yours. Oh, we don't quite see it, Brownie. Every fucking slide but the one I need.
Oh, sorry.
But basically, she just kind of sighs and goes, yeah, not quite, or something like that. And it's basically just like she's like mildly irritated. There's no sense of threat, no sense of,
they're not looking at anything. That's the problem.
I don't know if it's that, because I mean, whatever the actor's name who plays Ezra does actually try his best to have facial expressions. Yeah. But Sabine's actress, is it Natasha Liu Bordizzo, I think her name is? She cannot act. No scene in this entire show is elevated by her presence. Every single thing she does, she barely even reacts, and when she does, it's just to look vaguely smug, as mentioned. But she is really, really the poor choice for your lead character, which is what the show really wants it to be. Because you can't hinge a drama off someone who can't do drama on their face. It's like the basic description of an actor.
Question. And this is a really broad question. How the fuck did it get to this?
Disney Plus needed some output, so they just shoved this one out.
Well, they would have got there a lot sooner if they had tracking fobs.
Yep.
If only such a thing existed.
We do have a bit of Ray Stevenson and Shin Hottie here, so we have to be thankful for small mercies.
Except that, this is the only time. Well, it's not the only time. I've been getting more and more frustrated by these two, but particularly by Big Ray, because I still don't know what the hell he's about. But the whole relationship between these two had a lot of promise, and the fact that they're fallen Jedi, but still with some adherence to Jedi ways. He's training her as his Padawan, and in this moment, he says, "Go kill them," and she says, "You're not coming," and he says, "Nah," and that's basically it for them. And I don't understand what are you trying to pay off by having this relationship forming, which in this one moment they've decided is no longer a thing.
You weren't here last week, Lord. We said this is the show we want to see them to.
Yeah.
Fuck everything out. That's what we want to see. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's a shame. And we can't get that now, sadly.
It'll be interesting to see if we get to the end of this after episode 8 next week and we actually find out nothing about the history of these two.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because he has some goal. We know he has some goal on this planet. This line here is actually the moment of their complete separation, because we've already had the conversation between them where she asks him about the nature of power. And he says, well, and things like empires rise and fall. I want something before that. I want something greater than that, something that will outlast that. That's our goal, he said in that episode. Now he's telling her, go take your place in the empire, having already established that the empire is something he's wanting to transcend. Yet she's also supposed to be his Padawan. So he is actually casting her off in this moment. And I want to know why. There's a lot of potential in these two characters, and we're in the penultimate episode, and nothing has been paid off yet.
Yeah.
Cider Feet thinks he's a handsome bastard.
Yeah, agreed. Lord, you available, mate? Please.
I am indeed, yes. From Garth Knight for $4.99. Happy name day, Lord God. Have some dollars, brownie. Thank you.
Oh, cheers.
Brownie, I'll be sure to make sure I send you lots of money on my birthday as well.
Brown, do you get to blow out the candles on Ben's cake?
Oh, you want me to blow?
I've already had the offer of one blowjob from the chat. I think that's
the queuing up,
me over for today.
Yeah.
I've got connections, Geordie. I'm going to send one of my newsreader friends, Hugh Edwards, over, who's going to drop us keks and blow out the candles in a special kind of way.
Wonderful place to be, to have people lining up. Pandawan for $2. Thrawn is a Cerulean Dr. Evil. And he's still having a piss. Look, everybody.
And he looks more pissed off as well.
Yeah, he's pissing to the left now. How's he doing it?
Okay. They're on a Star Destroyer, right? Star Destroyers have TIE fighters and TIE bombers. We know how big and bad TIE bombers are against ground targets because the Mandalorian showed us them genociding Mandalore. Why are you sending a couple of ships with a few troopers on to resist the mercenaries? Why aren't you just flying TIE bombers over? There's no way. You can't reflect bombs with a lightsaber. So again, yet another instance where Thrawn is making a terrible decision as opposed to actually killing the people he wants to kill.
No, I disagree, actually.
Oh. You can try.
What if the special effect ship design people came up with this really naff troop carrier, but they want to push for some merch? Just saying.
Yeah, that is always the way with this show. It's like, but what if they had something worse in mind? And that's what they do.
So I quite liked the look of them walking in. Yeah. But it's when we actually saw the ships later on, we just thought, what a load of shite. You can tell it's not Ralph McQuarrie.
So we've established already that stormtroopers are a valuable resource, and Thrawn doesn't want to expend them without necessary cause. Yeah, he's just throwing them at the people he knows that can kill them instantly. Like Jedi, for instance. And when he could be, like Ben said, using TIE bombers. Although Filoni's defense would probably be something like, "Oh, it's been 10 years and they haven't got any fuel."
And look, they have them. You can see them right there. So it's not even the excuse which the TIE fighters are right there.
Not bombers.
No, but that's one hangar in a whole Star Destroyer. And if it has, Star Destroyers come equipped with several squadrons of fighters and I think 2 or 3 squadrons of bombers. And that squadron of TIEs looks pretty well intact. So it's reasonable to suppose that somewhere else on the ship there are bombers as well. But no, Swappers is right as well. We established earlier on, Thrawn actually has the line explicitly telling us in one of the episodes that resources are pretty stretched at the moment. And so he's trying to avoid unnecessary expense. And yet he sends these troopers off. They all get massacred. Spoiler alert for anyone who actually gives a shit about this show. They all die. And Thrawn says, it's kind of fine. Pretty much the best thing we could have hoped for, actually, because reasons, I think. That they're over there instead of here or something. I don't know.
It's completely stupid. You're right. Mailmate Girth Knight for $4.99 says, can Mega Geek please show up and say, it's shit for Lord George's birthday? Oh, what a treat that would be. But
what you need to do is to sample him saying that and then put it on the soundboard.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, Brown. Can you
You
make that
put it
happen?
into one of your one of your mega videos, Lord, perhaps.
Yeah.
Sound snippets of Mega Geek going.
I've got this Go XLR thing which has buttons for samples. I just haven't put any samples on them. But yeah, if you can record it, I will program it in.
We've got some news about the Mega Geek, folks. We'll let you know on Sunday.
Oh, all right. You're gonna keep us on tender hooks, are you?
What's he been arrested for?
How do you keep? I got a joke for you. How do you keep an idiot in suspense?
I know this one.
Rue?
Queef.
Indeed.
Yes,
I'll tell you next week.
That's as old as time, that one, Brown. But I've made a note of that dad joke for my trilogy. Thank you very much. Back to the rolling eggs or whatever they are. Why were they traveling so slow earlier, but then when they get chased, they start speeding up? Why do they have to go along at literal snail's pace?
To get away from the attacker, I don't know.
No, but why didn't they just go faster when they were just
the plot
traveling?
didn't allow.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know.
They needed to go slow while we had to listen to fucking Sabine and Beardy.
There you go, Preston. This feels like all of it feels like a deleted scene, mate. Oh God, look at that.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh look, I said look at that. Drink everybody, but it's not a good look. Just fucking.
No, it's a bad look at that.
Oh, that's a callback to Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Ezra had a catapult, but it was laser based and actually did something. Whereas this seems absolutely pointless.
This is one of those scenes I always think with the people who don't watch Ahsoka or maybe just hop on and, as someone said earlier, listen to British people criticizing things. This is the scene where you look and go, what the actual fuck did this really happen in Star Wars? I'm afraid it did. Someone pulled out a catapult. And,
I'll just say, here you go, Drew, yeah. Effort grunting.
Take a drink.
Rue, you available, mate? Your favourite?
Always. Yes, it is my favourite. Nikki O'Reillyhan for £5. If only the great Ruin directed Ahsoka. The possibilities. Yes, they're endless. Yeah, well, I'd have killed Ray Stevenson in the show. Never mind. I know he's popped it in real life, but we'd have got rid of him early doors because he's the only decent thing. And what else would we have done? I mean, we've got a purple-haired woman there, so that's already checked that box.
God, it's like, fuck off.
Maybe we could have got these fucking snail things doing on a racetrack. You know, we could have watched them do
we could have
snail-paced race.
Oh, can I just, them up with a hint of garlic and butter.
Mr. Brown, in the chat, the Mega Geek turned up.
No way.
Did he? Ian, yes. Do you want to come on?
It's just right there. It's right there. It's just going off the screen now. It's just going. There we go.
There.
Actually, the Mega Geek. It's shite.
Brilliant.
Why is he wasting his time with this?
Anyway, Sabine, basically we have to sit through this fucking scene where these useless red bastards are, they're worse than the red guards in fucking the throne room scene, The Last Jedi. They really are useless, aren't they? Well, I know, but I've taken the piss.
They keep running up, and so they have these electric cattle prods, and they run up to the side of these giant, whatever the fuck you call them, and rather than going for the very, clear and obvious pilot of it, which your electric cattle prod might actually affect, they just randomly jab at the side in the vague hope they'll hit something that explodes. They're so useless, but Disney Star Wars, I think it's been mentioned already, Disney Star Wars cannot do villains at all.
Here you go. Preston confirms, there's no depth in this show.
The closest thing has got to be Big Ray's character and whatever the hell his motive is. But
he's
I
not
have a
even doing
nasty
anything, is he?
feeling it's actually going to do. It will be nothing when we actually see it. There'll be some mystical, like temple magic thing which allows him to cause things to explode or something. I don't know.
Big O, folks. Common people for £5. That's real money, folks. Electric went out ages ago. Maybe I was better off in bed in the dark, staring at the ceiling, slipping slowly into madness. Well, at least
Is that not what you're doing right now?
At least you didn't have a bottle of flat.
Stop it.
I don't understand the strategy of these guys. What, are they bandits or something? Why don't they like? They don't. They could have
crash.
They could have flanked them. You could have, like, gone around from the sides, cut them off at the front, but no, they chased them.
Jump on and stab the pilots. Actually attack the crab people as opposed to the machines the crab people are driving.
Oh, they showed that you can't do that because they've got this handy little technique when they can roll inside their shell and protect themselves.
As the man who gave you all a really fucking terrible chase scene, is this another really terrible chase scene? I mean, it really is.
It's a terrible chase scene. It's shorter than your terrible chase scene, but it is still a terrible chase scene.
Could have been horses, so we'll take it as a small victory.
Yeah, true.
Max Vroomfondel, whose name does get longer every single week. This week it is Max Grand Admiral Prawn Chow Mein Vroomfondel. This all looks really depressing. His name's bigger than his fucking comments.
Moving on.
Electric crackling.
Oh fuck!
Does he think it's like an organic creature and he can disable it by poking it with a stick?
I guess so. Is that an R shot, by the way?
Technically,
is it?
I think it is. It's hard
a
to tell.
cheeky one, yeah.
Yeah.
Just have a drink. I think yeah.
I'll go get over. He's going, oh, I'm better at that.
I'll just go downstairs and get some more flats.
Maybe you could just pour some tap water in just to get the remnants of the flat tonic water out.
God, why me? Moving on.
So this it's sort of bad Indiana Jones chase scene goes on.
Grunting.
At one point, tell me I wasn't making this shit up. Someone, do the snail type transports circle like wagons? Does that actually happen? Oh my god,
that's their strategy.
And then Thrawn says to the troopers, use the anti-encirclement formation or something. So they've planned, they've encountered this before, and yet they're still this shit.
Punchable Faces got a fair point. How come the bandits are now working with Ray and Shin? Was that explained?
It was last week, basically saying my enemy is your. Was it your enemy is my friend and all that bollocks? I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's a niche
them having kind of any allegiance, though, did we?
Smashing, loud rumbling.
Is it just me, or did they? When we were in the other galaxy, right? It's always me. I know. When we were in the other galaxy, all the color and the saturation seems dialed right up to look like a cartoon, and then as soon as we get to this planet, it's almost like bordering on black and white. It's like so dull and drab here. Everything is.
It really is. I'm not sure why they keep doing it, but they do keep doing it. And there's no life in it. It looks so drab to look at. And you could have some fun with the red of the armor, for example, but because everything is basically a different shade of gray.
Yeah. I mean, it would, because everything's so grey in the background, it would sort of, it just make everything pop and bring everything out. And it's a good chance to highlight the characters and the action. But no, they've just like washed it with this dull drabness. It's just, oh God, it's depressing. It's like a Ruin Johnson movie.
We've not had a brown out, have we?
He's gone. He's gone.
Quick, go to the last slide.
We can do what we want. Great.
The slides seem to have disappeared as well.
Well, that's because Brownie's got it. Oh, he's in control. We've had a brown out, everyone. But while waiting for Brown to sort his shit out, we have had a rather nice super chat. Zee, are you available?
Yes. JNHAM5 for $5 says, In my cynical days, I always said Star Wars exists to sell toys. Thank you guys for all the laughs on these streams. Oh, you're absolutely welcome.
You're very welcome. You back, Brown? What's going on?
I am. Yeah, the Wi-Fi went. I'm on tethering.
Oh, shit,
now.
where are we now?
Oh God, we've gone back to the start of these slides. I'll get us there, folks. I'll get us there.
I kind of think. No. I'll do it. I'll do it.
You're
I think I know where we are.
You're going to make up for it.
No.
Settle down, chat. We'll have to do the whole stream again. Oh no.
It's like trying to set the
Somebody
timer
DM
on
drinker and get him
you gotta
back.
press the button a million times to get to the end.
Amber Sidaway getting all excited there. She thought she got off the hook. No, school's not ending early, folks. You have to stay with us to the end, just like we do. Oh, yeah.
Are we there nearly? We're nearly there, aren't we?
Nearly there, yeah.
A little bit.
I did like that. That's charming. Any real weapons? All right.
She's basically kicking arse around. Why wasn't Ezra doing anything of note? This will piss me off.
Because he's a male, that's why.
I mean, I guess someone has to drive the whatever it is, beetle. It's later, though, when he turns down the weapons that things get very, very silly. I mean, more silly than this, and this is very silly, but...
Kip, here's one for you, if you would, please.
Nicky Lalahan into the chat for 5 English pounds. Out of all of the avatars, Kippers has the most kissable.
Not pleasant if he queefs, though. Was this it?
Yeah, I think it was, roughly. Yeah, the circling...
Love
the
eggs.
snails, yeah. I'm not sure what that was going to achieve, but yeah, Filoni thinking he's being a smart ass.
They were trying to protect themselves. That's why they went into the little...
Yeah. They've bunched up, they've huddled up together. They are now within the diameter of the explosive range of one bomb from a TIE bomber. So, game over.
And here we go. He's coming to the rescue. Perfect timing.
It's super
Ahsoka.
Oh, because that's something that's probably worth pointing out. For the duration of everything we've just been talking about, this ship has been being chased by the same fighters for minute after minute after minute to 10 minutes, and then however long the episode is. It's always being chased, always being shot at, takes no damage at all. And it's still going, and it will carry on going later. It'll pop back up in about 5 to 10 minutes' time, and they're still chasing it to no end whatsoever. It's yeah, the chases are just dragged out so long.
Not much love for
Pew,
Sabine.
pew, pew.
That's what in the chat. Freudian slip. Where are we up to now? So. It is Shin, isn't it? And Balin. I thought he had a wok on his head for a minute there.
No, it's like an anvil, like a modified anvil.
Looks very wok-like to me. So Balin's hung back because he's going to fight Ahsoka, and he sent Shin to go and do the dirty work. And here we go.
So she offers him a blaster, but he refuses it. And he refuses his lightsaber as well.
Is he some kind of pacifist? What's the deal with him? Does he just refuse to?
Well, he's not a pacifist. I mean, he does do some fighting. It's just that for some reason he's decided he doesn't need weapons because he's found ways to break the Force.
He's one with the Force, and the Force is with him.
Ship whooshing.
Average British nerd says he's just a fanny. But anonymous bastard says, "Don't
Young
question."
is always doing this. He's like Rimmer spitting out Space Corps directives. Stop it.
Very good.
Standard Jedi protocol.
They're just fucking making it up, aren't they, as you go along?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure standard Jedi mission protocol does not entail that you're allowed to jump out of the spaceship while it's flying at several hundred miles an hour and expect not to die on landing. and yet that's what she does.
I think that's just general protocol, isn't it? Otherwise, most people would die.
General protocol, not admiral protocol.
Vice Admiral.
Well, this is bizarre. Why do the steps have to retract? Why
I
can't she
wondered
just
that.
jump?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Ted Rogers.
It's thoughtful of them, though, because it means they've installed the wheelchair ramps in spaceships. So, that's good.
Oh, look at that. Fuck off.
So she's
So
dead.
look at that, fuck off.
So the ships that are pursuing them don't see her jump out, and they just go after the ship instead.
Yeah.
All the bones in her body are now broken.
What did she use the fast?
Force jump.
Her shin bone is actually currently sticking out from her mouth at this point, but she'll be fine.
Ruben, did we do these super chats? Because when I popped off, did we do that one?
No, we don't do this one. So, mailmate Girth Knight for $4.99 says, "Here's to Mega Geek for being a good sport. Lord Chord, would you be willing to let Ruin direct your next birthday party?"
There'll have to be some contractual obligations, though. Like, you're not allowed to have Rose Tico fly into my birthday party and destroy it, for example. That would be one pretty big one.
Well, we won't let Boyega in. We'll keep him out in the back garden. Yes, keep him out of the way. And
you can just airbrush him out of the party entirely. That would be good.
I think what we'll have, Geordie...
We'll have it in China. We'll have it in Hong Kong as well.
I'll make a special arrangement for Mark Hamill to turn up for your birthday party. And he'll walk in and you'll get all excited and you'll tear up and you'll go to hug him and then you'll realise he's a fucking hologram and he's not really there.
Then somewhere across the galaxy he dies. Yeah, that's good.
Mark Hamill died
Did we do that one?
I don't know. Bring it back up. Let's have a
I'll do it.
Oh, go on. No, don't believe so.
Who's good at pronouncing that?
5
for $5.
We did this one.
We did do this one.
Okay, we'll do it again. In my cynical days, I always said Star Wars exists to sell toys. Thank you guys for all the laughs on these streams.
You will be billed twice for that, by the way, since we did it twice.
Yeah, you're now in debt to us, I'm afraid.
Star Wars definitely isn't selling toys anymore, I'll tell you that.
George is having the last laugh on that one.
So here's Ahsoka the White and Balon the Chad.
So did she plan on jumping out of the ship in precisely the right place to end up opposite the man on the horse? Or did he know that that's where she would land? Or is this just a massive coincidence?
It's like Tom Cruise's jump in the last Mission Impossible film. Absolutely impossible, but puts you exactly where you need to be.
I remember that. And he flies through the side of the train and just knocks out the most convenient guard. What a good film.
I see.
Stop spoiling it.
Amelia Bedelia in the chat is highlighting the Lord's highest fantasy, I think.
Oh,
here we go.
Better get that on screen.
You mean this one?
There you go.
Oh, yes, please.
I'm now going to have to Google Timothy, Chalamet?
Will you be going to see Willy Wonka then, Lord?
I don't know. When's that out? Maybe.
No idea.
All right, okay.
About a year, probably.
Geordie, that's almost how I picture you in my mind, though. That's very strange. Is he? Where have we seen him from? Timothy Chalamet. June. Yeah. June.
June, or is it Dune?
Dune. Yes, that's the one. Dune.
Oh, do you know the one film I was looking forward to this year? Other than
I know, and it's gone.
Fuckers.
Ahsoka saying what we all feel.
Just turn into Mega Geek.
Shit. Drink, everybody. Have a drink. Just lightsaber igniting.
And it's on. but we know
Rey's,
the outcome.
if I may, Rey's saber looks pretty decent. Why do her sabers just look like a couple of fluorescent tubes?
They're not helped because grey and white is really difficult to get the contrast with, especially since they've chosen geniusly to actually put them against a very grey sky. So it's hard, like they don't have the radiance, and so it doesn't look quite as impressive. They do just look like slightly more fluorescent versions of the sky. It's not great designs. Like white lightsabers are a cool idea. It's just that they are not really practical for filming purposes, I don't think.
I don't even think the lightsabers look as good as they used to anymore.
No.
They don't sound as good as they used to.
And this is another irritating instance because, again, we know nothing about Ezra. Most people don't know him. And this is an opportunity for him to show what he's about and to actually, use some lore-relevant stuff. He is a Jedi. He's trained with a lightsaber, but he turns all the weapons down in order to do this weird martial arts thing. And every time I watched him punch someone with the Force, which is just stupid, it's the Han Solo bit in The Force Awakens when he says, that's not how the Force works. Like, the entire fight scene is just that meme.
Oh, yeah. I also had the same feeling about Force Fu.
Force Fu?
Force Fu, yeah. The martial art of the Force.
Oh, yes. Good point, yeah.
You didn't quite catch on then, did you, Lord, on that?
No, I didn't, no.
Yeah.
It's his birthday. Let him
well done, Z. You outsmarted the brain box himself.
No, never mind. I'll ask about Dave Filoni next. He never gave his lightsaber to Sabine in Rebels before he left to defeat Thrawn. He gave it to Chopper.
Wah.
So
is this Filoni
stole it from him?
Is this Filoni trying to come up with what's the phrase out of Rogue One? I am with the Force, and the Force is with me. What is it? What is he?
I'm one with the Force, and the Force.
One with the Force, yeah.
And
now we've
got
this, the Force is my ally. That's all I need.
I like this.
You liked it?
Kicking ass.
God.
So when he gave the lightsaber to Chopper in Rebels, did he do that with a view to Chopper handing it to someone who could feasibly use it, or did he just?
No, that was not set up at all.
Oh. That makes me like this even less.
So hanging around his neck. Are they dog tags or something?
Yes.
White dog poo tags.
Yeah, Stormtrooper dog tags. Yeah, I saw that tweet as well.
Here's an intelligent question for this time in the evening or early morning. Who has the smallest boobs? Sabine Wren, Rey Palpatine,
smartest boobs? What smartest?
Balon Skull.
Smallest boobs. It's got to be Rey.
I'd say Sabine. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. We've got Rey though. We'll let the chat ponder that one, I think.
I'll just quickly say, everybody, give Jacob Ironside a sub. Melvin deeply recommends him. We know Jacob.
Melvin recommends him, then he must be good. Tell him Melvin sent you.
The governor, Melvin, the governor of the mods. Yeah.
Force kick. Doesn't that?
I did. Content? Yeah, I liked it. Yes, liked it.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it. He wasn't taking any shit.
But it looks so dumb. This fight scene is
me all over.
The fight scene is kind of a greatest hits, though, for all the stupid fight scenes in this entire show. You have Sabine running up to people and punching them with her guns. You have her not using the lightsaber in melee range and just continuing to use her pistols for no very good reason. And then they add the extra stupidity of Ezra apparently having, Force Fu or whatever it was called.
I
the
think
whole thing looks very silly.
Yeah, I think I was probably about 7 hours in at this point. I was just willing to take anything at this point. Doing the slides,
Is that the worst looking lightsaber you ever seen in your entire life, though?
Yeah.
What's going on with the end of it?
Well, I guess it's in motion, but it just doesn't really look like that.
It's been like circumcised or something, this lightsaber. What's going on? Got a bit of the end lobbed off.
Why is it the 1977 really shitty special effects lightsaber looks better than these?
Because they were actual practical effects.
But it's also, it's aided by the context, and the fights in the OT were always significant things. One-on-one, characters we know with real import. And so the fight itself feels, even the Obi-Wan Vader one in A New Hope, feels like more than it is. Well, no, sorry, not more than it is, but it feels like more because there is actually, undergirding story, meaning, message, purpose. It's going to actually pay forward to something. You can feel the import in the fight. Whereas in none of these Disney Star Wars shows do the lightsaber fights really mean anything. They didn't much in the prequels either, because George just wanted massive scale. But in these ones, it's just, well, it's a Star Wars thing, and Star Wars is supposed to have lightsaber fights, so let's just throw one in here and one in there, and they don't kill anyone anymore, obviously. So that's another thing that detracts from the seriousness of the fight. But
it means none of this means anything anymore, Lord, and that's why. None of it it doesn't mean anything anymore, folks, and that's the travesty of it all.
Drink.
All roads lead to Jake Skywalker. It's unavoidable. We're just on the long, arduous journey getting there.
We're just putting a grin on our faces, making the most of it, best of it.
Jay Jameson makes a really good point.
Sorry, folks.
Do I even believe they're going to kill anyone? And he's right, isn't he? There's just no sense of peril. I mean, Lucas, to his credit, he killed off Obi-Wan, and I think it's fair to say probably most people weren't really expecting that. And it set Darth Vader up as this real threat, and it's just not believable that any of these characters are going to die. Oh, I don't know.
Shot.
Oh yeah, drink, everybody.
The battle rages on. Another force push from
I like
Space
this.
Jesus.
I did like. Yeah, have that. I liked
it.
Yeah, drink, everybody. I like this. Look at that.
Oh, it's a genuine look at that.
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah.
All right. You sure you're not going a bit delirious, Brownie?
I think it's the side effects from the bottle of Flats.
Out of date.
There we are.
Oh,
if he'd picked up his lightsaber, this would have been over in seconds.
Yeah, so she swings and singes his head because he ducks at just the last second. But the problem with this, I think this is the bit that really just made me almost laugh at the screen, is you've now got this weird, slightly hippie-ish looking guy in a hand-to-hand combat with a lightsaber-wielding person who for some reason can't, beat him or stab him. And he's just using his fists against a lightsaber. Why are we supposed to be taking lightsabers seriously if unarmed hippies don't die?
Sabine, we know is can't be killed. We know that now. That's canon. She can have a lightsaber through the belly. That's no problem at all. They could cut her fucking head off, and it'd still be staring up at you with that resting bitch face, wouldn't it?
I like the costume of the alien with the double anvil on his head, or her head, or their head, they them head.
Or are they aeroplane wings?
Did we miss
no
another
laughing
shot?
matter, Jay. That's no laughing matter.
Chat are calling us out for an R shot. I don't know if we missed another R shot. Let's see.
Oh yeah,
was that one? Yeah. Side
perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
The number of blaster shots she reflects, because she has Beskar shoulder pads and Beskar wrists, I think, and a Beskar chest piece.
Yeah, chest and back plates.
Codpiece.
And yet she can actually seemingly deflect blaster shots with her wrists, which is not. I don't think that's supposed to be a thing. But also, the rest of her body is basically unarmored. And yet she gets shot over and over again in the one place that's not going to kill her.
This is just a mere flesh wound, isn't it? He'll be all right.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Because she moves to deflect shots, and surely you can't move fast enough to deflect a laser cannon or a laser gun. You can't possibly do that. She's dead.
I did like this with the lightsaber.
Oh,
How he was kind of making it funny.
it's a few things you like, Brownie.
But then, if he can do that, and he's far from the most powerful Jedi in existence, why has no other Jedi ever done that, ever? It's the same thing when Vader is fighting Space Moses in Obi-Wan, and he uses the Force to actually physically move her arms out of the way and move her around in ways we've not seen before. The problem when you start adding new Force powers like that, which are incredibly effective in combat, is that we never see them anywhere else, including in time periods set after this one. So for all, sometimes, it can look fun, but you do sort of have to have a mind to everything around you in the Star Wars universe. Like, is this a fight system that actually sustains itself when it's applied to all the other films and shows? And I don't think it is.
Well, at this point, they just stood around.
Swap, is he available for a super chat?
Nicky Lenihan in the chat for 2 English pounds. They are fighting the 7 Crapuri.
Very good. So here we go. There's some drones. And back to Ahsoka.
Dog shot. The spaceships were crap. They're not good ships. Intense music playing, man.
Ahsoka with this reverse grip. I'm not convinced it's the most efficient way to fight, but
you can't defeat me, man.
Oh, we have missed the Jamaican, Brown. Keep it going if you want.
I don't have to.
Yes, you absolutely do. Otherwise, he'll kill you.
Firing. Grunting. Grunting. Oh, look at that. Poor Ray. Rest in peace. And she fucks off.
And that's that. Another inconclusive fight. He makes a remark. He may have missed it earlier, but she says to him, rather, he's surprised to see me. I mean, to be fair to him, the last time he saw her, she should have been dead. She was beaten and left underwater for several hours, days, however long it was. So,
yeah, he says, I didn't expect to see you again or something. Like, well, no, that's a fair point, but maybe express a bit more surprise that you have seen her again.
Yeah.
No one's excited or no one's shocked or surprised to see anybody at all in the show ever, are they? Really, it's like they expect it. Oh, it's been 10 years. Yeah, I thought you'd turn up.
Look who's here, everybody. Ms. Martin Muses super sticker for $1. Thank you, Teresa.
Like a super sticker.
Teresa, if you throw your channel in the chats, perhaps some of the lovely peeps would subscribe.
Well, throw it in the chat. We'll throw it on the screen, and we'll get one of these.
Folks.
We'll get one of these retrobates to read it out. So we'll do even better than that. Anyway, back to this bullshit. We're nearly getting towards the end, so we have some troopers rocking up.
Now, what they've dispatched here are two LA-AT patrol gunships. They have 2 front laser cannons, a tail laser cannon, and 2 missile launchers. Not at any point do they decide to use these. They just land, get out, and attack them.
Oh, well, see, that's because they don't bank on someone like you watching the show.
Kippers is triggered.
It's like that episode of Mandalorian, isn't it? With the stormtroopers trying to attack Boba Fett, and he just hits them with a stick, even though they've got all these weapons.
Yeah.
Do they need to capture them, is the question.
No, it doesn't matter if they don't.
Right, so they could just wipe them out then, couldn't
they? Could just wipe them out. Just hover in the air and laser turret the fuck out of them, and they're done.
Well, instead they're going to use the counter encirclement tandem.
Yeah,
technique.
What?
Everyone planned for this loss, so it all worked out in the end.
It's nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, then he notices that Big Ray is not there.
Mm.
Oh God!
No, oh, for fuck's sake, no, that shouldn't. Beskar is really, really quite annoying as a little convenient plot device. I don't think you should be able to block lightsabers with wrists because, again, if you can do that, why doesn't Vader wear it? Why don't big bad people in the Empire do it? It's just, ugh.
Could you go back? Yes. Now, is it me or can I see that Beskar glowing hot?
It might be just
maybe
the impact.
Well, wouldn't she be having like Kentucky Fried forearm? Or was it just me?
I don't know. I don't think he was contacting it for long enough, was it, for it to?
No, it was on there a fair while.
Because you don't see it glowing afterwards, mind you. We don't
Grunting.
see it.
He's doing his. Is it David Blaine?
No, he's trying to feel her ass with the Force. That's what he's doing.
He looks actually a little bit like Girth Knight if you compare the photos. But talking
A
of
little
which,
bit, yeah. Is that you,
Girth?
Girth?
Girth Knight has a question for you, Chordy. If you wouldn't mind reading it and then offering an answer.
Yes, Garth Knight for $4.99. Lord Cord, as a birthday gift, you were granted the choice of a Star Wars character to be in a movie directed by Rowan. Who would you choose? Well, I'm an incredibly busy person, so I want to be in and out as quickly and ineffectually as possible, and so I'm going to go with Captain Phasma.
Oh, Captain Phasma! Wow.
Not Odo.
I don't even know who that is, but Holdo.
Admiral Holdo, yeah.
No, because I just end up looking at myself in the mirror and then headbutting a wall repeatedly. I don't really want to do that.
So this scene really, I mean, I got to this point in the show, I just wanted to end, and when this scene came up, I really started smashing my face repeatedly into the wall. She makes the order to destroy them, and then this Ezra guy says, "Oh, no, don't stop," and the soldiers listen to Ezra, not the person who's given the command to shoot. And then he comes up with this line, "Oh, don't you want to take us as prisoners?" And I thought, this is fucking child writing. What's going on?
If you hadn't seen this show, these few slides here would look like some kind of campsite space rave, wouldn't they?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
You're better than the show.
Absolute dire.
Loud.
And obviously,
oh god.
Yeah, that buys them the time they need for a rescue. Ahsoka the White on the horse.
Super Ahsoka.
But there's a whole mass legion of stormtroopers standing behind them. Just open fire, and that you'll shoot them in the back. They're dead.
That's exactly what I thought at this moment.
If I may, Star Wars Theory was not like in this episode as well.
Don't believe it.
I think even he saw the shortcomings of this episode.
There's so many opportunities when, I mean, they've got fucking guns. They could just concentrate their fire on one person at a time and just completely slay them.
They could nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
There's so much they could do.
Professor R2 says, where are the better than Ezra jokes? Well, R2, let's just say this Ahsoka series is desperately wanting. There we go. There's a thinking man's joke for you.
I saw a shaman gag in the chat earlier on about Ezra good. Ezra good.
Oh, really? Wow.
Could he move any mountain? Yeah, I'm sure he could. Straining.
So the circling the wagons helped, didn't it? It kept all the bad guys out.
They didn't really sort of circle them properly, did they?
Well, they're back together.
That robot's blinking eyes just bother me so much.
Lightsaber.
Yeah, me too.
Clashing. Firing. Because these are all the firing scenes. Pew, 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 pew.
Dead stormtroopers all over the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, nice shot, Brown. That's what's happened there. She shot him or deflected a
shot
back
him.
at him and shot him. Yeah.
She lit a sparkler, I think.
Ooh,
he's pushing them away, which I did like. He's like, off, away you go.
The force push is all well and good, but it's not really lethal, is it?
Oh, right in the.
Now he uses a blaster. Now he uses. Why now? When he said earlier on, no, I don't need one. Why now?
Explosion. Yeah, you're going to need to do better than
That
this,
was
Filoni.
she used the Mando rockets.
Ah.
Well, she could have used it any time, but no, she chose now to use them.
Z, I feel like you're the man to ask this question. What is the Conrad M in the chat asked this actually? I'll bring it up. What is the purpose of the red tape on the Stormtrooper armor?
There is absolutely no reason for that red tape whatsoever. Likewise, there is no reason for the gold repairs. It doesn't make sense.
It's just purely a stylistic choice that has no reason.
Yeah. To make them look like intergalactic edgelords or something. It really is rubbish.
Edge troopers, yeah, I like it.
So we really circle right back to what we were talking about right at the start with the drinker. This whole issue of the cargo transfer and what is the cargo and why weren't they doing it in advance, as Chordy I think said, and yeah, we're now getting a visual on it.
Well, I don't know, but there's a fucking progress bar on it, like a video game.
Yeah, it's the mandatory timer, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they seem pleased with the progress.
Did I miss something? Why is time something Ahsoka doesn't have?
Well, I think the time thing is that obviously the ticking clock is restocking or refueling or loading whatever the cargo is onto the Star Destroyer, and to stop him, Ahsoka had no time to waste, and yet she's wasted time doing all of this, even though like he already knew that and said himself as much that he was never her focus, and so like, he has no reason to be doing any of this. And also, even though the cargo transfer is not yet complete, and he's voluntarily calling off his forces, thereby ensuring they lose less time than they otherwise would have. Yeah. So it still doesn't make a huge amount of sense from this incredibly intelligent villain. And
Ahsoka has absolutely no idea of this inventory that Thrawn is accumulating either. So it's completely, that whole phrase is completely pointless.
So you're available, mate?
I am. Wolfsbane in the chat for $5 says, in the EU, Beskar and Cortosis are the only mineable elements that can deflect lightsaber strikes. Emphasis on light. Both cost...
Easy.
Billions of credits.
And there we go. They are getting...
Yeah, and they just go, run away, run away.
Is that an R shot? I guess it is, isn't it?
Yeah, drink everybody. Yeah,
we have quite a few R shots.
I can help you.
Yeah, and they've left, what's her name, Billie Eilish, stranded there, and Ahsoka attempts to bring her over to the light side, which I'm sure will be a thing in the last episode.
Yes.
I'm sure it will.
It's a woman. She can't be a bad guy. She has to be redeemed.
I feel there's going to be some proper, there's going to be some proper lesing off next week.
Could be good.
Look at that pose. That's she's stopping her friends from getting involved.
I don't know how Ezra can really be involved at all.
Could watch.
Drink.
No one thought anyone was dead.
Ahsoka's response to that is, I thought you were dead, and Ahsoka should be saying, and I thought you just betrayed me, sided with the enemy, and doomed the entire galaxy by giving Thrawn the only thing he could conceivably have wanted. In the moment, I'm rather pissed off at you, actually. But no, she's fine with it now because she's Ahsoka the White, and that means that she's happy.
And there's a reunion that, unless you've seen the cartoons, no one gives a flying fuck about.
I will say the cat looks great, by the way.
This bit was really strange because she actually laughed out loud.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Absolutely.
And the cat looks fantastic. The cat looks fantastic there.
Always does, doesn't it?
Look at that. The cat is beautiful.
Oh, the cat's got to look at that. So that's the first. This episode, and we are belly crawling our way to the end. But this episode started flat and ended flat, flatter than Sabine's tits.
It's flatter than my bottle of
tonic.
And can I ask, why is Thrawn under the impression that they've used up all their time and they're going to be stranded here?
Yeah.
He knows how they got here. He knows that they can use the same method to get back. So I don't get it. Maybe it's me.
It's me
bit of
also,
hand holding there. You love that these little rock creatures, don't you, Brown?
It's just the eyes. I don't get it.
Well, it's because they're supposed to be like hermit crabs, aren't they? With the the eyes on stalks. That's the whole idea behind them.
I'm not going to read this out from Downs. Sorry, Wonky Man.
Oh God!
But yeah, we get the.
You can tell it's time to go home, can't you?
Yes, we can tell.
It's just ridiculous.
Guys, I'm getting a feeling.
Sabine thought Ahsoka was dead, and she probably would have been mourning her, but she just turns up again. She's like, "Oh, hi, Ahsoka."
I will say, folks, if you've watched the episode, marks out of 10.
Yeah, get your marks in early, folks, because we've ran a little long tonight for a change.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll obviously go around the retrobates, and that is if you would please, Brownie. That is the final slide. Let's go around the team and get closing thoughts and scores. And birthday boy Chordy, let's hear from you first.
Can I give it an I don't care out of 10 at this point?
No, you've got to give it a mark.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
I would have let him.
I don't know, 3, I guess. It wasn't as annoying as some of the others, but I think that might just be because I've checked out mentally from the show. The episode achieved almost nothing, less than some of the others. There wasn't as much overt stupidity in it as some of the others, but again, that's not a high bar to clear because there's always a good latent amount of stupidity in every episode. Yeah, I'm going to go with 3. It's just a bang average Ahsoka episode, which is to say it's a really shit episode of any other kind of TV show.
Z, what did you make of it?
More cartoonish nonsense like we've come to expect for the last 7 weeks. It's so long and boring. This episode obviously redeemed by the fact that I'm in it, but
not even you could save it.
No, not really. This is another 3 at best.
Kippers, what about you?
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm going to have to give it 3. That's purely for, again, as all the other episodes, Baylan Skull, maybe the odd shot of Shin. She's quite nice to look at. But apart from that, maybe Anthony Daniels' voice and the amount of things to take the piss out of. So it gets 3.
And Brownie, what say you?
A massive chore to do the slides today. I just knew it was going to be painful. Ray didn't do much, but fantastic. I liked Miller. Thought the guy who played him pretty good.
You do know it's not really Ezra Miller, right?
Well,
the Mad Goose Wizard.
Dog shite, everybody. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 4 purely for the maleness that shone. Yeah.
Okay, it's rather generous, Brown. I'm going to give it a 2. It gets a point for having C-3PO in it, although it's a shameless bit of member berry, but still. And a point for, as others have mentioned, the fine work of Ray Stevenson. Other than that, it was tedious as fuck. Yes, but look, we enjoy roasting it, and we enjoy all you people in the chat playing along, and particularly good tonight chat. And obviously for the first hour and a half, we had the drinker on, which was a nice treat as well. So Brownie, I've brought us very neatly up to the 3-hour mark.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'll quickly say, ran out of channel names for $2. Sabine's cup size, 10.
Brutal.
I think the consensus from the chat was 2 or 3 for the episode, which is probably about right.
Yeah.
Just shite. It's just demoralizing everybody.
someone said much earlier in the stream, none of these episodes have got really much above a 2 or a 3, and they're probably right. I think I can occasionally remember the odd 4 from someone, but generally it's just bobbled around the 2 or 3 out of 10 mark, which is awful, isn't it? I don't know.
It is.
But anyway, we have the finale next week.
Hooray!
We have the rap party, so I hope you'll all join us for that. We hopefully get some more arse shots, and we'll have some more drinking game fun, and yeah, we'll bring this thing to a close, Brown?
Here you go, folks. Obi-Wan Darkside, €2 merch, please. I keep promising. I even designed the retro bait t-shirt.
Oh, I'd have been your first customer for that, Brown.
I'll sort it. I'm terrible. Anyway, chat, you're wonderful. Great
Thank
numbers
you,
tonight.
chat.
3 hours you've stuck with us. You are the best. Cheers, chat.
Thank you, man, babies. You really are the best. And I'd just like to close this by singing out a little bit of happy birthday. So if you'll all join along,
Well,
are you ready?
Thank the panel first.
Oh, we'll thank the panel. Go on then. Thank you to Kippers.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the chat. You're always absolutely great. Thanks to Mr. Brown. Fantastic presenting job by Ruin again. Happy birthday to Little Platoon. And the amazing billion job of Zee-ThreePIO. We couldn't do it without him.
Thank you, Z.
Always a pleasure to be on the stream with you guys. Looking forward to ending off this dismal run of Ahsoka next week with you. And it's not long before we've got the Attack of the Clones stream. Is that right, Brown?
Attack of the Clones stream.
I need to start producing slides.
12 hours of slides.
Do you know what? Guys, I'm slided out, as it were.
Thank you, Lord Chord.
Thank you, as ever.
And thank
lots
you
of
to
birthday wishes coming in for you, Lord, in the chat.
Yep, get them in, folks.
Very
Thank
kind.
you,
Thank you,
Mr. Brown. And to take us home, let's all join in happy birthday to George.
This is the most miserable happy birthday I've ever heard.
No, I've had flat tonic water, so it's not that bad.
George.
Happy birthday, dear Benjamin. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Timing.
Huzzahs.
Bollocks. Timing.